Look out. It's only me. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls. Above and beyond today, we kind of swamped Flounder in the last minute here, and I think he's still a little upset. Everything's going to be fine. It's unbelievable, man.
Well, you do that every day, but it's okay.
Well, this was we started a bad day. I mean, really, it's a damnedest thing because it's a great day. We got great things to celebrate. It's a great baseball day for the Braves. Incredible stuff going on TV. I wish I were off today. I would have been glued to this freaking hearing in Congress on the impeachment inquiry. It reminds me of the time when I was fired. I was out of work, and I watched every minute of the Edward Kennedy Smith trial for rape on Martha's Vineyard with Ted Kennedy showing up, and they talked about him going downstairs during the night. He was supposedly on the beach with a girl in his underpants, and she said, "Oh, he met Senator Kennedy in his underwear." I mean, it's hysterical. But we'll talk a lot about this hearing. It's really amazing. So we have that, plus the debate last night. I mean, there are three major things going on today. So between the debate last night, you'll hear about stuff on that. Well, also the hearing today.
And a government shutdown looming.
And the shutdown. And frankly, and honestly, tell him what you said a minute ago, Pete, about making a deal on the shutdown.
Because the Democrats have a thing up saying here at this impeachment thing saying Republican shutdown in 2 days, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right, then go fine. You want to call it the Republican shutdown? We're shutting the government down until you fix the border.
There you go.
And most Americans agree the border is a disaster, and the only way to fix it is to hold a gun to these people's heads up in Washington, D.C., and figuratively, and make them do something, and this is how you do it.
They're still not doing it because 6 million people came across into this country in the last 3 years. I mean, anyway, so we've got so much to talk about that stuff. Also, Taylor Swift back once again in the news, and I guess she's going to show up again at the ball game on Sunday at Kansas City again.
This is how desperate they are. The Daily Mail actually had a story about 4 stories down showing video. We have video of her leaving the Kelsey house in Kansas City to go to the game on Sunday.
My goodness.
Who cares?
Yeah. There was also a big story and video of her with her arm around his neck. I swear to God, that was the headline. Video captured of Taylor Swift with her arm around his neck.
All she's doing is writing another lyric.
Well, yeah, waiting on another breakup so she can, never.
Writing or writing.
Either could be either way. I mean, but bless her heart. I don't
break
care.
her.
Yeah. No. Well, maybe that's the key. I don't know, man. I don't know. 306. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's our phone number. And we love phone. If you've been watching any of the stuff that's going on, either the debate last night, we'd love your feedback. Because plus, I didn't watch 2 hours of that debate. I was long gone. I watched like 25 minutes, and then I tried to check, but I would,
I forgot about it.
Well, there you are. See? And Flounder, what about you? Did you have any interest in debate last night or remembered or anything even? I don't think he heard me.
Sorry, that Rashid Tlaib, whatever, is just running her mouth on there, and I was...
And in fact, earlier, I wish it was during the show before us, about 15 minutes ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene was arguing with that scumbag herpes face, Jamie... No, herpes face. No, look at his face. Look at the TV. He's got big mech on his mouth, a big herpes mouth. And the scumbag Jamie got his hair back, Raskin, the biggest slimy, sleazy, backstabbing liar. Oh, there's Marjorie Taylor
Greene
back
again.
Can we put it up live?
Yeah.
Just for a second.
She's yelling at somebody.
Oh, that's Tlaib.
All right.
Never mind. That's Tlaib.
Anyways, what were you originally asking me?
Did you see any of the debate last night?
No.
Okay. Well, I saw some, but again, we'd love to hear your opinion. If you, I mean, it really. We'll talk about it. Also, if you spent any time watching this hearing, and I know I got a text from Kevin Hout, my a pilot buddy, and he said, "Yeah, man, this is riveting. I couldn't take my eyes off it while I was getting ready for the show at home before I come in, and I couldn't stop watching while I was doing everything else. I mean, it was really exciting. We'll talk about it as we go on." But first, and by the way, I have so much more. We'll update you about those, the teen drivers, the 5 teenagers dead because of the ridiculous reason. Also, more Elon Musk wars, the Senate code. We got your Guam idiot where they used to represent Pete. Black Lives Matter and calling for reparations. Oh, never mind. Just go ahead and loot. Donald Trump's talking about President Slimebag and everything else. So we got a billion things to talk about. Plus, holy crap, at sports, Skynet, Pete's tweets, and but basically, let's talk baseball for a minute. Can we talk baseball for a minute? It's 3:08. I mean, amazing. Last night. And by the way, I gave up on him. I said, well, now the last 2 times when I've stopped watching, they've come back.
Quit watching this.
So I'll watch until they're behind, and then I stop watching. And they'll win the World Series for sure. I'll have to tape it so I can watch it and enjoy it later. There you go. It's a tomahawk chop, baby. And by the way, I hope they never get... Now, I know the Braves have actually eased up on I don't think they even do the drums anymore. Do they? Maybe they just the drums.
I think they do.
I don't think they do the music.
They still do it.
I think they do the drum people without the music. Anyway, whatever.
If it angers the rest of America, then by God, let's do it.
Exactly.
FSU can do it. The Chiefs can do it.
That's right. Well, what the hell? Now, last night in the game, Pete Davis, Holy Crap at Sports, coming up later. But let's give a little preview. And game with the Cubs last night. Well, do whatever you want. Let's start. You want to start with Acuna? You want setting a record? You want to start with a?
Let's see what they have here. Let's just push the button and see what happens here.
Do what you want to do.
How long before he runs? He's going now. Ozzie takes the pitch. The throw down, not in time.
Hear the crowd?
And that's 70. Number 70 right there, folks. He's trying to dig that base out. He wants it. Pulls it up from the ground and holds it high. Man, that's awesome. A 40-70 man. Ronald Acuna Jr. That base is on its way to Cooperstown, I do believe. They replaced the bag, and Ronald, the only man in the history of Major League Baseball with a 40-70 season. Truly incredible.
Joe Simpson and Ben Ingram with the call on 680 The Fan.
Would you like to hear the Cubs version of that?
Well, hold a second. It's not going to Cooperstown. It's going to Jim DeShays, the Cubs color analyst, on their marquee broadcast last night. The whiny little biatch. Oh, I don't think this is going to play well in the Cubs dugout. I think this is absurd. Shut the blank up and go back to Chicago, you hellhole. I mean, come on. you crap stack. Unbelievable. Go back, forfeit the game today, and go take your whiny little butt back to Chicago and wake up in that crap hole while we wake up here. Yeah. I'm so tired of the whining from people like, first of all, you sucked as a pitcher. You're even worse as a broadcaster. You're the most boring man in broadcasting history when it comes to... Poor John Chompy has to put up with this. Basically, he's a cardboard cutout sitting next to him.
Well, give the example of their manager also reacting.
David Ross. Yeah. David, they go, well, David, what do you think about it? And he goes, Raccoon, you're doing it. He goes, what are you talking about? And he says, he held up the base. He goes, he deserved it. Yeah. He did it. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And he moved on. The manager doesn't care.
Yeah.
But Jim DeShays, I think this is absurd.
I mean,
it's absurd. If you listen to the Braves announcers, like, hey, that's marvelous, that's great, that's wonderful. Oh, I think that's absurd.
If it had been Ryan Sandberg, he'd have gotten on his knees.
That overrated palette.
I know.
Range of a Frigidaire.
Anyway, I didn't mean to set you off.
What were you going to say?
No, do we have a sound of that guy?
Yeah, we have a sound of him whining. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
We're really stopping the game.
Can we get the base after the game? This is pretty absurd. It's just a hell of an accomplishment.
Totally, but you can't stop the game in montage.
Yeah, you can. We did.
We do whatever we want. It's our stadium. You do whatever you want at your quaint little old ballpark up in Wrigley's wonderful. You do what you want up there. And guess what? The Braves can do what the hell they want, and they're brand new, modern, with all the great new amenities of a modern ballpark in their stadium. They can do whatever they want. They can stop the damn game and forfeit if they want to.
Well, the bottom line is it was the first ever obviously you couldn't just stand there and then, okay, next pitch, please. The 22nd clock is run. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the possibility that you couldn't honor that moment and that he would? I mean, this is ridiculous that Dave isn't an issue.
And they cut out the point where he goes, well, I don't think this is going to play well in the Cubs dugout. Like, nobody cares what you think.
And they're all celebrating. I mean, they didn't like to lose, and they don't like being
Well, at that point, nobody was focusing on the Cubs.
Yeah. So anyway.
And also, I love the Cubbies fans going, let's go Cubs, let's go Cubs.
Yeah,
they weren't yelling that in the 8th, 9th, and 10th, were they? They were sitting on their little butts, weren't they? They're losing little butts.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Now,
I said it before. They're great when they're losing.
Yeah.
But when Cubs fans are winning, when they're winning, they're as bad as anybody.
Yeah.
All big talk. And you know what? You never see anyone wearing Cubs stuff until they're winning.
Yeah. And you couldn't talk about the White Sox. So that city's a very bizarre.
That city's a crap hole.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre place. Trust me. And now, and the Braves. You want to wrap up anything? We'll talk more about this later on. But did we home field advantage
throughout the National League? And if the Orioles lose and we win just one game, either way, we got it through all the World Series, home field advantage.
Well,
I think the magic number's 1 for that.
And then aren't we like 7 home runs from 300 or something like that?
I think we're
the record is 5. Oh, is it 4?
How many did we get last night? We got at least 2, right?
I want to say 2 or 3. I think it was 2.
So if it was 2, that means we're like 5 behind.
I heard him 5.
Like
the last year was 5.
So 5. It should be 5. I believe.
Oh, we got how many games?
Ozzie hit one last night, and Marcel hit one. So I think
we got
that's
one
2.
more week. This week and next.
We've got 4 more games to hit
this week
5 home runs.
End of next week. Oh wow.
No, it ends Sunday.
I think that can be done.
No, wait a minute. This is Thursday. The season's over Sunday?
Right. I believe so.
2 days?
Yeah, because the Nationals come in for 3 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are you talking about? Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Holy cow. Excuse me, could we stop, please, this earth-moving business? Holy criminy. I'm not ready for October. I guess I better get my crap together. I got 3:15. They're leaving without me. Look out. Look out, it's only me, it's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, Flounder, 319 on 106.3 with your Thursday. It's a Thursday afternoon with Shakira, and it was on this day 1 year ago today. A Barcelona court ordered Shakira to stand trial for tax crimes, allegations amounting to like $15 million that she owed. They want to put her in jail for 8 years and fine her $23 million if she's found guilty. And then this was a year ago today. And then, like, was it yesterday or the day before?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday they charged her again because she has like 3 homes in different countries, including Miami, where she is now. Yeah. And she keeps saying, "Listen, I paid my stuff, my accountant. I don't know about this stuff." But they wanted to go to Shakira. Can you imagine Shakira in women's prison in Colombia or someplace, Barcelona, for 8 years?
She'd be dead in 24 hours, probably.
Oh, my God. I mean, or she'd run the place. Let's see. Oh, a birthday list include Mira Sorvino. This is quite a woman, if you didn't know. She's 56 years old. Paul Sorvino's daughter, the actress, and him, the actor. Mira Sorvino is 56. She graduated magna cum laude from Harvard studying East Asian studies, and she speaks Mandarin. She won the, graduated from Harvard, went mostly naked on an episode of House, and won an Oscar for playing a hooker in Woody Allen's Mighty Aphrodite. Mira Sorvino, 56 years old.
Didn't she just appear in that Sound of Freedom movie, too?
I don't don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yes.
Did she? Yeah. Quite a. Oh, and by the way, what was the movie she did with the Asian guy, the fighter, the kung fu fighter guy? She played like a killer or something, or a gangster, and she worked with him.
Jet Li.
Yeah. And he tried to get back for the gangsters in Hong Kong. We're trying to run his family, and she helped. Oh, it was a great movie. Flounder, you'd like it too. I can't remember that she was in. I should have Googled it. Damn, I forgot. Sorry, I'm very stupid about this. Let's see. I'll Google it later if I remember, and I'll try to tell you what the name was. It was great. It was a great movie. Mira Sorvino, and it was some Asian guy. It was really good. 1850, President Millard Fillmore named Brigham Young as the first governor of the Utah Territory, 1850. In 1857, President James Buchanan took it away from him. So apparently they had their problems. All right, 321. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. That little Boebert, Lauren Boebert's talking. Can we put her up for a second there, Flounder? You got to say.
One of these attendees was Yelena Baturina. Miss Baturina was, at the time, the richest woman in Russia, and she was married to...
This is the impeachment hearing. Inquiry.
Of Moscow, as previously stated. Interestingly, on February 14th, 2014, Miss Baturina wired Hunter Biden and Devin Archer $3.5 million.
Ta-da!
Still uncertain what legitimate service Hunter Biden provided to Miss Baturina in exchange for this large sum of money.
All right, that's... give you a clue, honestly, and then the Democrat. I mean, let's do a quick soundbite with Jim Jordan setting this up, and then I'll tell you my first reactions, especially from the very beginning. You knew the Democrats were going to try to do this. In fact, they're just, it's amazing. They're downplaying everything. And Jim Jordan kind of set the stage when the hearing began this morning, and it's still going on. It's been going since 10 o'clock this morning. Flounder, if you would, a little Jim Jordan comment on what's happening over there.
This is a tale as old as time. Politician takes action that makes money for his family, and then he tries to conceal it. Never forget 4 fundamental facts. Hunter Biden gets put on the board of Burisma. Gets paid a lot of money. Hunter Biden's not qualified. Fact number 2, to sit on the board. Not my words, his words. He said he got on the board because of the brand, because of the name. Fact number 3, the executives at Burisma asked Hunter Biden to weigh in and help them with the pressure they are under from the prosecutor in Ukraine. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine on December 9th, 2015, gives the speech attacking the prosecutor that starts the process of getting that guy fired. Those facts, by the way, are consistent with what the confidential human source told the FBI, and the FBI recorded in the 1023 form. The same form that the Justice Department didn't want to let this committee see. Biden Justice Department tries to sweep it all under the rug. They slow walk the investigation. They let the statute of limitations lapse for the most important years, 14 and 15, the Burisma years when all that income's coming in. They try to put together this sweetheart deal and get it past the judge. And we learned yesterday in the search warrant examining Hunter Biden's electronic communications, they weren't allowed to ask about political figure one. Political figure number one is the big guy, is Joe Biden.
That email was from a woman named Leslie Wolf, who was the deputy to this guy Weiss, who then appointed himself special counsel. And she said you have to take the name Joe Biden off the search warrant. They were protecting him. She was on Weiss's. She was his deputy. The fix was in from the beginning. And these Democrats... okay, we'll talk some more about their reaction to this first. The first thing that happened, as soon as Jim Jordan made that speech, that slimy little liar, he's a weasel and a dirty, stinking, backstabbing liar, that Jamie Herpes face. What's his Raskin? He used to wear the rag on his head because he had cancer and he has chemo and he lost his hair. Oh, poor baby. Like I do. Anyway, so now he's got his hair back and he's as ornery as ever. And the first thing he did was they had to 4 votes on whether they had procedural authority under the debating rules to open an inquiry, because he read something from the congressional, something that said, yeah, it's not an impeachment, it's an inquiry, but it's a member of the ... So they had roll call votes to get. I mean, it was a nightmare. And then he said, and then he got overruled. Finally, they voted against him. So then he said, well, we're sitting here talking about this when we should be talking about closing. And they another sidetrack. I mean, it was unbelievable. Just a nightmare of distraction and deviation and just being slimy all the freaking way, every single word. And then he comes out and says, "There's not a shred of a shred of evidence, or a shed, or a shed. In the shed, there's no shred." I know that. It's just unbelievable. But again, I couldn't take my ears and eyes off it, and they're still going on now. Among the many things that happened there today, Representative Nancy Mace, a little hottie who said her boyfriend was grabbing her by the waist to bring her back to bed. I've had some fiery language today calling out the Democrats because they're all saying, well, they just dismiss all this criticism. It's just all, you Republicans are going crazy. And Nancy Mace, that hottie from South Carolina, said the criticism of President Biden's conduct related to his family is bourgeois. At the first impeachment inquiry, the evidence covering all the investigations so far, the Democrats are downplaying all of it, saying it's just based on debunked, discredited lies. So Nancy Mace says, now, wait a minute. 2017, the Chinese company alleging the deal with millions off granting access to Joe Biden, unquote. Hunter arranged for Joe to share office space with the Communist Chinese Party's company CEFC. And then Democrats said, well, the deal took place when Biden was in vice president before he began running for president. She said, no. Joe Biden wasn't vice president while his family did the shady deals. Turns out that's complete bourgeois. It's a lie. Anyway, back and forth. The hearing is really, I wish I could be watching it.
But most of the country, they've already divided. They've made up their minds. Yeah. Is this going to change anybody's mind about this?
The only way this is going to change anybody's mind, if two things happen, one particularly, if they follow the money, if they can show that the money went into offshore accounts controlled by all the Bidens, and then get them under oath and get the bankers under oath, subpoena them, getting in there to say where they got the money from, why they got the money, and get the actual specifics. The other thing is they have to, if they can prove that President Scuzzface actually changed foreign policy to benefit foreign people at the detriment of America, that something happened. Well, for one thing, he apparently took money as a thank you for helping Hunter Biden and the Burisma people get away from getting charged there. I mean, corruption is corruption. And the biggest thing would be if he sold out his country.
Kimmer, we've already got him on video.
I know.
Basically threatening the country, another country, right. Ukraine. If you don't fire this attorney general guy, whatever, we're not giving you the money.
Right.
He should have been kicked out of the vice presidency right then for doing that and bragging about it. Yeah. We've got all the evidence we need already, and they're not touching it.
They've got to get to follow the money. If they do that, and anything affecting foreign policy, then other than that, and even so, honestly, and plus, I even hate to say this because I sound like a broken record. it doesn't matter if they decide at this inquiry, this is not impeachment, it's an inquiry. If they decide there's enough evidence to go forward to an impeachment, and they go forward to the impeachment, which goes over the course of more and more months, several more months, and then they actually vote to impeach in the House if it's before the election, so we don't get overturned again or outnumbered, out elected. If they vote in the House to impeach him, it's going to fail in the Senate. So nothing they do here is going to matter in terms of getting him out of office. The only thing that's going to make a difference is maybe people are saying, God, he is a crook, and I just can't support him. But he won't. He's not going to be guilty. He's not going to be convicted at an impeachment trial. Thank you, Georgia. We have 2 liberal senators.
Well, not only that, but because of Democrats, people don't take the word impeachment seriously anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, hell, they got
doesn't
Trump
carry
twice
the weight
for
it
phone
has.
calls.
I mean, yeah.
So we have to make a mockery of it, and they're going to do it because, again, it's not going to go anywhere. There's not going to be 60 senators voting to convict him. It won't be 50. Anyway, 3:30. All right, we'll have some fun. Hold on. We got more stuff. Don't go away.
I'm depressed now.
I'm a little upset, too.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer winner.
come to its senses. What a silly thing these idiots did, and now they've realized that was stupid. It's kind of like a Bud Light, only didn't go that far. Oscar Mayer's bringing back the Wienermobile name. Yes, it's true. They announced the iconic Wienermobile, is referred to earlier as the Frankmobile, is going back to its roots. They've made an announcement saying, well, like many of you, we missed our original icon. Kicking off last week, we're welcoming back the Wienermobile. In May, they said for the first time in 87 years, it would have a name change. The beloved icon has been sparking smiles and driving craviability for our iconic, delicious wieners. Oh, my God, for 100 years, said the so-and-so. To highlight the they wanted to see the rebrand cuts the mustard with its fans, and it didn't. When
cuts the mustard?
Yeah, cuts the up. Frank's Mobile. So anyway, now they have 6 of them, Wienermobiles. They go all over the country. You get hired to drive it a year at a time. It's a full-time job. You're called a hot dogger, the driver. And you have to be, a good person and like hot dogs and be a kind of a brand ambassador and kind of a.
I wonder how many you eat a year driving the Wiener road.
I'll bet you all you want. I would think they go all over all the big cities, all the small towns alike, miles of smiles. They say all over the country, a year at a time, 6 of them. And in fact, I think it's a pretty good gig. I think they really treat you great, and of course you don't drive 2,000 miles a day or anything with those trucks.
I see it about every decade. I saw it about 12 years ago in Snellville. I was stuck behind it in traffic.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
And I saw it last year in Blairsville.
Did you? I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Although that can't be right.
You've seen the.
I know I've seen. I know. In my head, I know I have, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm almost certain they actually had it at when we were at the old place. Out in the parking lot, I think the big old thing came there one time. I'm
sure I have. Now the thing, I don't. Yeah, I'm sure I have. So I'm sort of an idiot.
You blocked it out.
I blocked it. Well, you live this long. There's not room up there. Every day you got to get rid of something.
Like your hair.
Like my hair. What's my standards? My self-esteem. Sure, keep it up. Yeah, my sense of self-worth. Sure,
your
we
balance.
can go on. My balance again. And by the way. I fell off my boots. My God, man. I fell off my boot clamper. What do you call it? Boot jerker. What do you call it?
Boot jerker?
No,
yeah, that's it. Boot jerker.
Boot.
Now, see, if you asked me, I thought I was just talking about
a boot puller.
It's not a boot puller.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, it's called something.
Oh, and by the way, the movie Irreplaceable Aliens, what was it? Irreplaceable, crap. The movie with Amira Sorvino.
Replacement Killers.
Replacement Killers. And it was the famous Asian actor. There are a couple of them, but he was one of them.
Some gentleman called in, so.
Moonshot?
Boot Jack.
A boot jack. And some gentleman, thank you, sir. You're very kind. Yeah. And by the way, I really enjoyed that movie. Replacement.
Remember that Jack Boot is the greatest invention in the history of mankind.
Oh, no question about it. But again, I thought I was leaning against the wall at the bed, and I didn't. I fell on my butt and right on my wallet, and I got a size of a grapefruit purple thing there. Anyway, Wienermobile. Okay, it's 3:37. It's only me with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our number. We'd love to hear your phone calls. If you watched either the hearing today, which is still going on since 10 this morning, and the debate last night, or whatever, Braves, great game last night. Our number is 404-741-1230, 741-1230.
If you listen quietly, because we're right across the street, if you listen quietly,
yes,
you're hearing the echoes of the crying from that whiny little biatch, Jim DeShays, from last night.
He's still upset.
He's still over there crying.
Is he still weeping? Yeah. I think they left him in the booth.
Weeping uncontrollably.
Put a sign up and said, quiet.
He held the base up in the air. That goes against all of baseball history.
Of course he's going to hold. I mean, didn't Willie, who was it? The Speedy Henderson there. What's his name? Didn't he hold the freaking base up?
Well, Chicago's Ricky Henderson did this. Ricky Henderson is not I'm sorry, he's never associated with Chicago.
Yeah.
He's associated with the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Please, quit trying to claim somebody that didn't give a rat's tootie about Chicago.
I have seen people holding up, when it's appropriate. Hell, with Pete,
Ricky Henderson actually took the base when he passed Ty Cobb.
Yeah, that's right.
And he goes, well, this wasn't a record last night. Yeah, it was. He just made the record.
It was the first time only. It wasn't. There was no record before that.
Ty Cobb didn't do that. Yeah. Ricky Henderson didn't do that. Yeah. Or did he? No, he didn't do that.
I think Ricky Henderson took the bag up. I've seen it before.
But he didn't go 40-70.
No. This is the first ever.
Yeah.
First time ever in history.
Chicago.
Jeez, cut me a break.
Shut up.
And by the way, 3:39. Speaking of which, I wonder whether our friend Jeff Hollinger will have some comments about that as he does his sports tonight. There's a guy named Jeff Hollinger. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hollinger. I think it's Hollinger. Jeff Hollinger.
Please.
As in Malinger. I can't be right.
God.
We're tease, we joke. We love Jeff Hollinger.
Yes,
We've known him for 50 years, for God's sake.
We haven't known him.
Well, I've known him. You've known him longer than I. You worked with him longer.
Yeah.
We've worked with him since the 90s.
Oh, the
80s.
tells I could. No,
He's been here for 40-something years. He's been in Channel 11 for 14. He's leaving at the end of the week, I think, October 1st. I hope, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he retired, and the guy's been around.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Don't
should
worry.
we worry? I mean,
Do not worry
I was
about Jeff
going to say, I'm so worried about
He will land on his feet.
Jeff. Anyway, everything's fine. It was just end of a contract, I believe, and it wasn't, so it's not like, he got fired or anything. Anyway, so we wish him the best. He's been, I have several Jeff Hollinger stories, none of which I can tell on the radio. And I know you got a lot more than I do. And I know we got a couple of things in common that I know we can't talk about. All right, it's three. No. Only in my mind.
No, I think you're thinking of somebody else. Yeah, you're thinking of somebody else, not Jeff.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's horrible. Inside side, I know it's wrong and rude, but we can't, it's
all these broadcast personalities, they kind of blend together.
Yes, we are. 3:40 is our time. 404-741-1230. Okay, on the debate last night, holy smokes! Of course, the Democrats are calling it a clown show and making fun of it and saying, in fact, one congressman, Democrat, said referring to it as a clown show would be a disservice to clown shows. But it was now when I first saw it, it seemed to, the very beginning of it, it seemed to me a little out of control. Even as Stuart Varney kind of mumbled and stumbled from the very beginning. Let me give you a couple of quick reactions. Again, we'd love to hear your if you saw the debate or any part of it. I didn't watch the whole. I watched like 25 minutes, honestly, and then I tuned in a little bit later. But that was it for me. So if you watch or have a comment or a question about it, 404-741-1230. So they finally got going. But on the dais, the questioners, including this chick from Univision, who had such a strong accent, it was nothing but distracting I couldn't understand her questions and her comments. And I thought to myself, what's she even doing there? It was for representing Univision.
Yes, it's huge.
Well,
the Hispanic voting bloc is a huge bloc. You cannot ignore them.
They wouldn't be ignored if the questions came up about the Spanish voters. That doesn't mean you have to get somebody representing Spain. Now, I suppose if you're going to talk about illegal aliens, they should have had a questioner from an illegal aliens company. I mean, it's just nonsense. Okay. You don't have to represent everybody who's represented.
This is the fastest growing bloc of voters in America.
They weren't
live
ignored.
Here and they face the same kind of problems you and I do. Of course, they need somebody up there to talk to.
The issue's got to be covered.
Okay, you want Dana Perino trying to play stupid games like she did last night, to which DeSantis had to call her out? You get these white bread idiots, the same ones over and over and over again.
It was my complaint was it was obviously a stunt because she could barely speak English. I mean, nobody said they weren't going to talk about Spanish issues without a Spanish girl there.
It's an American issue. They're Americans have the same
so
issues.
It should be a woman who speaks English, a nice American woman, I would think, wouldn't you?
So you're saying that you're the average American
now.
Let's
get it. Well, wait a minute. Then why didn't we have a Ukrainian commentator asking Ukrainian questions?
They're not a huge growing voting bloc.
Oh, yes, they are. The issue of Ukraine, how about an illegal alien asking questions? I mean, come on, you're freaking killing me. I thought we had 2 more minutes.
No, this is just a gay couple arguing.
Show us up.
The odd gay couple.
Get me to shut up again. You just came here to argue.
I don't want to see that brown-skinned woman on my TV.
Well, one of the things went over like a fart in church was Mike Pence. He's done. It's over for Mike Pence, my opinion. Flounder, we have a little Mike Pence. Here's what he tried to pull off last night.
Well, thank you for the question. I want to thank Univision and Fox Business for assembling such a wonderful forum. Look, I do disagree with something Tim Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line. I mean, look, I'm from the second leading manufacturing estate.
That's enough. It's just, I mean, this is like, where's the beef, or you're no Jack Kennedy. I mean, oh my God.
That's worse.
Talk about rehearsed and planned and just a bomb. I mean, it was just stupid. How could he possibly? Well, do we have a second one of him? I can't remember whether we have two of him. Is that a no? Okay. Well, the other thing. Well, here's the other thing he did. He was talking. Oops, I got the wrong one. Here we go. He was talking, arguing kind of with Christie, and Christie said the public school system is no longer run by the public. It's run by teachers' unions in this country. When you have a president of the United States sleeping with a member of the teachers' union, no chance you can take the strangle away from teachers every day. And so Pence replied by saying, I want to answer the question as well that you just asked, because by way of full disclosure, Chris, you've mentioned the president's situation. My wife is not a member of the teachers union, but I got to admit, I've been sleeping with a teacher for 38 years. Crickets. I mean, again, the man's, he doesn't, it's over. I mean, it's kind of, it's really kind of a clever, but it's over. How could he? I mean, he's got to be embarrassed.
Should be a huge hook like on vaudeville come out and
God. We'll hear Chris Christie, and we got more Nikki Haley fighting with Tim Scott.
Chris Christie was still there taking up two spaces.
Well, we got so much. We got a lot of stuff. It's all coming up. It's 3:45, but he kept repeating Flounder, so don't go anywhere. Here we go. Who? Highway 19, baby. It was 2002. Tina, didn't she just died, right?
Yeah.
Recently.
In May.
Yeah. 2002, Tina Turner's hometown, made famous in her song Nutbush City Limits, named a stretch of State Highway 19, you just heard her mention that, the Tina Turner Highway.
What was the first name?
Tina.
No, the first name of the street.
Oh, Nutbush. Nutbush. Nutbush City Limits. Tina Turner Highway. Tina Turner lived in Nutbush, a small town, I'm sorry, 50 miles northeast of Memphis.
I bet she did.
Until she was 17.
All right, I've been through Memphis 1,000 times. I never heard of Nutbush.
Well, you can go on Tina Turner Highway now with your little hot car now.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a good idea.
No, I don't think I'd go there. Anyway, and she took that abuse from that scumbag for years and years and years, too.
Yeah, he was proud of what he was doing, too.
Scumbag.
He was.
Birthdays include Naomi Watts. I really like her. She's a handsome woman. I wouldn't call her magnificently beauty or sexy or modelly, but she's a good-looking woman, and I like her talent. She's 55 today. Naomi Watts. The foremother in the Divergent movies. I haven't seen any of those. She was Peter Jackson's pointless King Kong remake, it says here.
It was pretty bad.
In a remake, and starred in The Ring. But the one with the other English Promises. Boy, was that a Eastern Promises. Man, was that a tough movie.
It was a tough movie.
Tough movie, but a good one.
With what's his face from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, who was also one of the killers. And
what was his name? He was the king in Lord of the Rings. What the hell was his name?
King
Mortensen, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo, and also there were a couple of very famous actors in there too, foreign actors. Anyway, what's your name?
Speaking of foreign actors,
Naomi Watts, 55.
Michael Gambon has passed away.
Well, we can mention that.
Since you're doing actors right now.
We're doing actors right now. Hold on,
I like to see you scurry.
No, I'm scurrying. I swear to God, I got to hear it. Here we go. A legend on and off camera. He taught me what acting was and shared his filthy sense of fun, said Jason Isaacs and Harry Potter co-stars, paying emotional tribute to Sir Michael Gambon. Gambon. He played Dumbledore.
He was a replacement. He replaced Richard Harris.
That's right.
Who passed away.
Dumbledore was 82, and he just passed away of pneumonia. He had a 60-year career, 6 out of the 8 Harry Potter movies. He did the last.
He's one of those guys that you don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah,
you didn't see Harry Potter, but you saw his face and his voice. That voice.
He was a great, and in fact, it's kind of remarkable. He was not from a family of actor people. He left school at 15. His parents wanted him to be an engineer, and he said, "No, I can't take this." So he just disappeared. He's been married to the same woman since 1962. And on acting, Sir Michael Gambon said, "I just stick on a beard and play me, so it's no great feat. I never ease into a role. Every part I play is just a variant of my own personality. I'm not really a character actor at all."
It's acting, my boy.
Anyway, if you don't know may not know the name, but I guarantee you've seen him and admired him. And he has a great voice. He really is a consummate package of a theater and movie actor.
You liked his package, huh?
No, hey, ho, ha. We'll go back quickly to the, and by the way, the hearing is still going on, the impeachment inquiry.
Turley's.
And I'll tell you, Jonathan Turley's been there all day. He was and by the way, and in fact, I have a story from, if I can find it here. Hold on a second. No, that's not it. Here we go. In fact, I think this is a USA Today article that Flounder printed for me. And one of the things they mentioned at the hearing this morning, and I saw this morning, it was in the first 10 minutes or so of the hearing, and they said witnesses scheduled to appear. One is Jonathan Turley, law professor at George Washington University, who's speaking right now. And this was this morning at 10. Said he's a paid Fox contributor who testified against Trump's first impeachment. Quote, "I have previously stated that while I believe an impeachment inquiry is warranted, I do not believe that the evidence currently meets the standard of a high crime and misdemeanor needed for an article of impeachment." So he has said that, and he said it again this morning, and that's what this news article picked out of all the things that happened. The first part of today is that even Jonathan Turley thinks there's nothing there. So here we go. But again, that's sort of the fervor of it. And again, they're holding up documents. It's a real dog and pony show, and they've been doing it since 10 o'clock this morning, 6 hours almost. Now, talk about the debate last night a little bit, if you don't mind.
All right.
Then again, we have anytime you want. We got Flounder's Follies. I probably didn't have time to get any of those. You've been.
I've got one or two.
Anyway, we've got Pete's tweets. In fact, we were kind of late getting in here today, so I'm not even sure what's available. We'll figure some out. Anyway. Flounder, Chris Christie, people are kind of mocking him after he tried to make a funny and make a point at last night's Republican debate, in case you missed it.
And I want to look in that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
All right. Donald Duck.
Wow. Oh, where's the beat? Oh, sorry.
It's actually a better line than Pence's.
Well, yeah, but even so, it's just so obvious.
Who wrote that?
That's what I mean. It's who do we give credit to there? And somebody covered the replies were things. Well, I guess we got start calling you. Oh God, no, I can't even think of the name. Porco the Clown or whatever. No, who's the famous fat guy? It's a Porky Pig. Donald Duck and Porky Pig. And said, well, if he's Donald Duck, you're Porky Pig. And which was perfect. But again, it just the whole thing was, and I only saw 25 minutes of it. But some of the sound, well, in fact, 3:55, Flounder, we have a little fight going on between Nikki. They say Nikki Haley did well for herself because she got and by the way, she and Tim Scott are both from South Carolina, and they were attacking each other. Well, here's a little sample.
I think
of what
she's a vice
on.
presidential candidate.
Well, I think that's why she's in there. Anyway, we have anything of her? I think you have a little something. Here we go. Fun.
Talk about someone who has never seen a federal dollar she doesn't like. 10 cents on the gallon in South Carolina. As the UN ambassador, you literally put $50,000 on curtains at a $15 million subsidized location. Next.
You got bad information. First of all, I fought the gas tax in South Carolina multiple times against the establishment.
Just go to YouTube.
Against the establishment.
Just go to
and
YouTube
you want to know what that 10 cent was? When they wouldn't pass the gas tax, the establishment and the companies wanted me to do it so much that I said the only way I will pass it if you will give us three.
All you have to do is go watch Nikki Haley on YouTube.
And that's that was their contribution.
Her voice is annoying, but she's smart.
She is smart, and she may have the abortion angle figured out.
She does.
And again, I'm so worried about this. I'm worried about the abortion issue, and I'm worried about Taylor Swift. Although it's a long way to go to see whether she has, but still, Nikki Haley, I think, has become very impressive. I don't know how you feel about Vivek
I think he's
Ramaswamy.
I think he's fake because you don't hear him mentioned anymore. No, everybody was talking about him, and now no one's talking about him.
Well, I think you will. Let's see.
Social media used to be a buzz.
Yeah, but they were saying that the impact last night was they were attacking him more than they were attacking DeSantis, and that DeSantis's people were saying we're kind of relieved that they started going after Vivek because he started making the most impact after the first debate. So they kind of turned their attention. Like Nikki Haley just went after him, and they kind of eliminated Pence. I mean, who do you think should be in the next one?
Well,
who should we eliminate the next time?
Burgum's got to go, and Christie's got to go. Tim Scott's probably got to go, even though he'd probably keep him.
I think that's the ballgame. I think that's it.
It's between DeSantis, Vivek, and
Nikki Haley. And I don't know what else.
And Vivek it's a pipe dream.
I can't imagine. Again, I would bet everything I've ever owned or thought about in my heart that he's not going to be elected president of the United States. He will not be the Republican nominee.
Not yet.
But but I like him. I like pretty much everything he's. I mean, I don't know all his record, but I appreciate the fact that he's smart, that he's quick, that he seems to have a very simple
passion.
You know, he had the list of the 10 things. You know, God, family. I mean, you know, he's a very simple guy who came up with very simple things and became a billionaire because he's so smart. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good resume.
Yeah, but he's a little naive on certain things. So.
He's young. On the other hand, you know, so was Kennedy. Was what, 40?
42, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know, and Vivek is, I think, 38 or something, isn't he? 39? I think he has to be 35. Anyway, 3:59. I thought. Anyway, so all that stuff was going on. Do we have time for Donald Trump? I don't know how long that soundbite is. If I got to
42 seconds, right?
There we go.
Getting close, but we'll try.
Well, we can
do
wait
it now. Okay, wait. Then wait.
We'll do it after. We got a news break coming up in a second. In the meantime, we will mention. Well, you'll hear Donald Trump in a second. Also, he, instead of going to the debate, of course, he was talking about the union people. The Senate has now changed its mind on that ridiculous suspected child molester Chuck Schumer dress code, so that Senator the Creature from Pennsylvania can walk around in gym shorts and a hoodie. They've now gone back to say, okay, if you're a man, the new rules, coat, tie, and slacks for men, that does not detail what women can wear.
Well, fine.
Which is the way it ought to be. Chicks are going to do what they're going to do.
What should I do, Godfather? You can act like a man.
I'm not a man. 4 o'clock, holy smokes, we blew that hour. Look out. The Marcells, baby. Who doesn't know this song? Here we go. Ding-a-dong, ding, blue moon, doo-doo moon, bomba, dang-a-ding-ding. All right, baby. 403 with Alan Johnson, the American singer who died of cancer on this day in 1995. He was only 55 years old. In the Marcells, 1961 American and British #1 hit doo-wop cover of the ballad Blue Moon that began dang dang ding dong ding. Here, guys. Sold over 1 million copies, awarded a gold disc, and what a song. And the Marcells had some others. They were not a one-hit wonder.
Speaking of music, here's your every bi-quarterly, hourly Taylor Swift update.
Okay, what now?
Taylor Swift refused to let Fox play her music on their Chiefs broadcast.
What?
Yeah, says you're not going to play my music during the game.
She can't tell people what to play? How can she tell Fox what to play on their TV show?
Because if they ever want another interview with her again, they won't do it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, all right, hold on a second. I have a
her record label and publishing company told him, no, you can't do it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they asked permission. She said
snotty little snot. Well, there you are. There's your politics. There you go. All right, she's in. She's in the ball game. She just by the way, this is an announcement. She just joined the political left.
Fox Sports. It's not Fox News. Fox Sports.
It's still Fox.
She didn't want to make a thing that she was there with Travis Kelce. It's not political. She didn't want them to play her music over the fact she was just there visiting to watch his game. She didn't want to make it more about her. It was already enough about her, not the game.
Oh, so she was being sweet and unselfish. Oh, my God, I'm so wrong. Oh, Taylor, I'm so sorry. I want to be with you and take...
Why? She's a stick figure.
She's a naughty little with that mouth and everything. Yeah, walking around with that mouth. And then what are you supposed to say about her?
Skin and bones.
A down little bone skinner.
No meat on her.
Praise her meat anywhere with bones and skin. You seen the feet on her? God, pick potatoes with those things.
Like one of those.
I don't even know.
The
Sasquatch.
Blue-footed boobies. Those huge feet.
And by the way, check this out. Speaking of things that she's responsible for, Taylor Swift. Since she went to the game Sunday, 400% spike in Travis Kelce's jerseys. Kelce's podcast ranks #1 on Apple. Kelce added 383,000 Instagram followers. 24 million viewers watched the #1 game of the week. 63% jump in female young viewers. 300% increase in the Chiefs searches on the web. 300% increase in the Chiefs sales on StubHub. And the Chiefs sold more tickets in a single day since ever. I mean, all because of her going to the Chiefs game, and she's going again this Sunday. So, I mean, here we go. Well, we'll see it. By the way, I didn't mention your birthday. I got distracted. I was talking about music.
Not my birthday.
No, it's not my birthday. It's 406, but it is Janine Garofalo's birthday. Here's what Flounder's birthday guy says. She is 59, stand-up comedian who got her start on the Ben Stiller show in the early 90s, back when she was funnier and a little less angry.
And cuter.
Thank you. She was, when she did that, The Love Story of a Dog, or whatever, the true story of loving your dog, or whatever it was, some pet story of, and she was a radio broadcaster maybe, or the other one who shows her feet all the time with the pervert director.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, okay, who was in Kill Bill?
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Okay, Uma Thurman, and the director is the guy. The freak director that you always make fun of, violent
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, and he's got a foot fetish, and he always have anybody in his movies always barefoot, including the girl he just said, Scarlett. No, what's her name?
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman, and Uma Thurman and Janine Garofalo were in a movie together where Janine Garofalo liked some guy, but the guy thought it was Uma Thurman instead, and Janine Garofalo was ugly and was afraid the guy would find out it wasn't her or something like that. I think it was a radio show, and the guy was talking to her, thought it was Uma.
Why are you
Because it was Janine Garofalo's birthday, and I thought I'd give her a tribute.
You could have just said she was on Larry Sanders.
Larry Sanders show, and she was actually quite funny back then. Nasty, but funny.
She was funny.
And cute. She was
hates
cute.
men.
She does not like men. She
hates
not a man mother.
She hates men like us.
Does not like men like me.
No.
And who does?
We're finding out.
Well, I think I've already discovered that. Anyway, all right, 408, sorry, just goofing around. Here's a phone number. It's Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. We have Flounder's Funnies. We got Holy Crap at Sports. Later on, we got Pete's Tweets and Skynet and all kinds of things.
You want some good news?
I could use a little good news, sure.
NASA says that New York City is sinking.
That is good news.
That's amazingly good.
Hey, the next big storm could do it.
All my life I said, I don't care if it sinks into the ocean, and it just may happen.
Yeah, well, I've thought that way about California. I've just thought what they're going. But yeah, so it's sinking.
It's sinking.
Well, and they got the subways, I'll bet there's evidence.
And Manhattan's basically one big granite slab.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's very hard rock.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know how it's sinking.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's another fault going underneath us or something. Anyway, the debate last night did not include Donald Trump, obviously. He was talking with union leaders in Wisconsin, Michigan. And he was responding to some of the heated criticism from his primary opponents. I said it was more important for Donald Trump to work the Save Auto Workers Wednesday night than go to the debate with his massive lead. But is it a 40-something point lead? Trump says he has a 56-point lead. Holy cow. Anyway, we'll tell you more about what he spoke to the crowd. But the other day he was speaking in Michigan, and they asked him about the current occupant of the White House, President Slimy Pussbrain. And when Slimy Pussbrain went to talk to the union workers, it's kind of remarkable that the guy's never worked a day in his life. Here's Donald Trump. Oh, I'm sorry, Flounder. I couldn't see. I thought you were there. He was in the back. We need a stewardess for Flounder. The Donald Trump thing.
Right here.
Here we go. Here's Donald
The only
Trump.
time Joe Biden has ever gotten his hands dirty is when he's taking cash from foreign countries, which is quite often, actually. It's quite often. Based on what we're seeing, it's much more often than anyone would have thought. But can you imagine an unannounced raid on his many homes? He would have made Senator Menendez look like a baby, just like a baby. Can you imagine? They gave him 3 weeks' notice. They said, we're going to raid your home over documents. They gave him 3 weeks. Would 3 weeks be enough? So I can imagine. I'd like to see what he cleaned out of there. Joe Biden only cares about enriching his own family. I care about enriching your family. That's why I did this. That's why I did it.
Donald Trump, he does that. He deliberately makes his voice go like this. And China. And you got to wonder where. I guess he's. I guess it's always been a thing. It's. We really need Trump back again. Honestly, I think it would be a cleansing. I think people would have to realize. I think it would be so different. That it would be, okay, we did this for 4 years with these idiots on the social. Look at what happened to our country. The George Floyd thing and the socialism and the wokeism and the trannyism. And we're going to, by the way, you're going to hear a tranny coming up here in a few minutes. And if you haven't seen the video of that violent tranny attack of a boy pretending it's a girl, looked like he was going to kill another middle school student, a girl in the hallway. Oh my God, we'll talk about it later. Anyway, Trump, I think, would bring a volcano of a fresh cleansingness to say, okay, we tried your stuff with this all electric cars and shut down the pipelines and everybody's woke and let's all go tranny and you can cut your penis off your little boy if he wants to feel like a girl one day when he's 9. And we did that. It wasn't really very effective. So now we're going to go back to the freaking basics. I think it'd be a breath. I think it'd be a breath of fresh air. I think it'd be very possible. And I can't believe I'm saying that because he's such a divisive guy. Anyway.
I get the feeling the swamp will never let someone like him back in power. He is too much of a threat to the global elite. He is too much of a threat to basically the world's largest money laundering scheme, which has been basically the U.S. government and foreign aid. Now it's the U.S. government and Ukraine.
But again, and he mentioned the crooked. Let's remember, we just found out last night another email release from Comer's committee that the woman who is now was the deputy director under Weiss, the new special counsel. Her name is Wolf. She was one who said, "Take Joe Biden's name off the search warrants." They covered up for him years ago. They took his name off the search warrants. Ta-da! I mean, the fix was in. Anyway, 4:13, Kemmer, Pete, and Flounder. We got so much more. If you'll stick with us, we'll try to entertain you. But Flounder's Funny's coming up here, too. And Pete's Tweets. See, baby,
slow it down, baby.
Slip me some skin, baby. Slip the fluid to me, Louie.
Good stuff, Maynard.
Little loose, Bruce. 23 Skidoo.
No. 23 Skidoo is the 1920s.
Well, I'm sorry. This is a little later than that. This is kind of that wank. Trying to find the note here. Miles, you got it, buddy. You're so close. Hey. Yeah. Snap our fingers, baby. Beatnik. Yeah, Maynard Krebs right here. Yeah, Greenwich Village, maybe.
Jack Kerouac.
1991, American jazz trumpeter, band leader, and composer Miles Davis passed away of a stroke and pneumonia. He was the 1959 album Kind of Blue. It's a major influence on jazz music. Miles Davis considered one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century.
I don't like jazz either, but that's actually listenable too.
All the jazz players are brilliant musicians, and if you let yourself get into it, you can see that they're leading you along. I mean, and you're not really well. I mean, they're leading you. You're telling it's like the fairy tale of the guy leading the rats away, so the little boys don't miss out on the village. Where they lead the rats there in the forest, like in Belgium, or whatever the hell it was. You know the story. The guy came in. They had the guy
Pied Piper
of Hamelin. That's exactly.
Germany.
And with Belgium, Germany, same damn
We've
thing.
already established Belgium doesn't exist.
Well, I've never heard of it before, and I know no one's ever freaking been there. But anyway, so jazz is like you're kind of willing to follow this guy on his journey, even though none of you knows where he's going. And notice I use the none and then the singular verb.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
Well, none knows instead of none know. So it's singular verb.
Who cares?
None. None care.
I'm just trying to bring a little dignity to the radio audience once in a while here. An educated man. Not that that's ever come into play.
You get off on the weirdest tangents.
That's where that's gotten me these days. I think I'll go home alone and have dinner in the dark. Sorry. Anyway, jazz. I hate jazz, but it's good. You have to appreciate what it is. That's all I was saying.
Do you sometimes do that? Turn the power off and eat in the dark so you pretend there's somebody there?
Yeah, I'd say, hey, baby. I do it.
You just can't see them.
Hey, Bill. Yeah. Help yourself, really. It's in the fridge. Jeffrey Jones' birthday today, 77. I have to admit, that movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, with him as Dean Rooney, was a great movie, and he was a great character as a freaking pervert.
Yeah, he's a pervert.
He was Winona Ryder's dad in Beetlejuice.
Amadeus.
And Amadeus, he was the prince in Amadeus. It was the prince. What's his name? I think. If it wasn't a prince, it was something other than. Anyway, and yeah, he did it. He was a great actor, and with that movie, that was one of my favorite movies too, Amadeus. He's a registered sex offender. In 2003, 20 years ago, he was arrested for child porn and paying a 14-year-old boy to pose naked for pornographic pictures. He pleaded no contest to inducing a minor to pose for the pictures. He was ordered to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. A few years ago, he was charged with failing to update his status, and they caught him, and I don't think he had to go back to jail. But anyway, Jeffrey Jones still alive at 77.
You mentioned Amadeus.
Yes.
I read something, George Lafont. He just passed away. What do you call somebody?
I don't know what you call it.
He's a bon vivant, but he was a guy who owned movie theaters. What do you call that? There's a French word for it or something. But anyway, I was reading his bio, and then Prince came to town once and got hold of George Lafont and rented out one of his theaters for him and the band to watch Amadeus.
Really?
And George got to sit there next to Prince for the whole movie and just watch the movie.
I'll tell you, I mean, it's definitely, I guess you'd have to call it a highbrow movie. It's about 4 hours. I mean, it's a good 3.5 hours long or something. I mean, it's a very long movie. But I'll tell you what, there were points when they were going over his music, and Salieri or whatever his name was breaking into his house and looking over his scripts and kind of in his mind going, oh my God, this man doesn't make a mistake. He never everything came out finished. Mozart would write, and it was finished. He didn't, practice and erase. It was finished right out of his head. And when they were doing the montage of the music, I mean, it was beautiful.
And to take Pony from Animal House and decide he should play Wolfgang and maybe it's Mozart.
Who'd have thought?
And do it.
It was brilliant. It was crazy because Mozart was wacky and crazy and died young and he was half nuts. And his little girlfriend, chick, wife. I mean, it was just a great movie if you like music at all. But again, it was had all kinds of elements.
I think F. Murray Abraham actually won the Oscar for that too.
He should. If he didn't, he should have. Although, in fact, I think that was between him and the guy from Gangs of New York, the big, skinny, tall character,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I
love that movie.
That's a tough movie, too.
I love that movie.
I liked it, but it bothered me. And again,
the book is good, too.
When it comes on, I don't want to watch it. Isn't that funny?
But it tells you about a history, especially the Civil War. They never teach you about that there were race riots, anti-draft, anti-war race riots in New York City during the war. They lynched black people from the gaslights. Yeah. They never mentioned that stuff.
Yeah. No one's ever taught. I never knew any of that.
How they took the Irish. The Irish didn't even get off the boat. They showed up on a boat. They took them down the boardwalk and put them on another boat to go off to the Union Army. And that's how they became citizens. They had to fight.
Well, and in fact, that was one of the deals.
Yeah.
If you join our army, you're a citizen.
You're a citizen.
You're in. Yeah. Anyway,
they never teach that.
No, there's a lot. I don't think they see that coming. 423. I also don't teach about reparations enough, apparently. Flounder, we have that idiot from Chicago. This is incredible. An organizer of Black Lives Matter in Chicago is talking about all the recent looting. In fact, we'll talk some more about how Philadelphia just went through a second night of it. And we'll talk more about the looting. But anyway, this woman, her name is Ariel Atkins, a Black Lives Matter organizer in Chicago. And she says, well, looting really is a whole different thing entirely. And
if somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that person eats. That makes sure that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
Your people.
My people aren't getting anything?
Are they eating Gucci bags now?
Honey, I got some fried pocketbook tonight, if you know, with a nice sauce on it.
Laptops.
It's a little chewy.
Stiletto heel juice on it, if you know. Oh, my God. She also criticized Jesse Jackson. Jesse went on Twitter to say this pillaging and robbing and looting is humiliating, embarrassing, and morally wrong. And she says Jesse Jackson's got nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Jesse Jackson was not there for the creation of Black Lives Matter. Jesse Jackson can keep his opinions to himself.
They always turn on each other. The revolution always turns on each other.
More than 400 cops were deployed to stop the looting after a guy was shot, and they started looting and fired on cops. The guy shot at a cop and they shot back and killed him. So now the looting and fire and stuff has to begin because the cops fought back of a black guy tried to kill him. Anyway, there took 400 cops to stop the looting, and then this idiot comes out and says, well, you take anything you want, it's reparations. We got to feed our families.
History has proven when things like this are happening, if you shoot enough people, it stops.
Exactly. You just need to shoot a lot more. And then their friends go, I don't think that's a good. We don't like that.
Even the stupid figure it out pretty now when so-and-so doesn't come home.
Yeah, bingo. And in Philadelphia, here we go again. Last night, groups of thieves working together destroyed property, smashing their way into stores. Second night in a row. They also ransacked something like 18 of the Pennsylvania state-run liquor stores. They were broken into and cleaned out.
They got a drink.
And so now Pennsylvania has shut down the state liquor store operation.
Well, that'll show them.
Exactly. And they closed locations. A Wells Fargo ATM apparently was hauled off, and they're saying, well, man, it was just robbed. I mean, there were 52 suspects arrested, including kids, in Philadelphia. And again, that was the second night last night. Before that, they got Foot Locker, Lululemon. What is it there?
Lululemon.
It's obviously, I assume that's a chick store.
No, that's Meadowlark's sister.
It's got to be a girl's store, though,
it's
right?
It's more like a kind of fitness outfit store, like high-end kind of yoga pants.
Lululemon. Well, he's got a girlfriend. He knows about yoga
he's got
pants.
A woman in his life.
But I mean, you can buy guy stuff there.
Oh, well, I'm not going in there if you don't even know how to make your own freaking name. Anyway, one of the funny parts about this ridiculous story in Philadelphia was some fat load in Philadelphia. A media influencer named Dahlia Blackwell called Meatball was filming it and going live with it. She was actually showing all the looting, having a lot of fun, filming all the looters, targeting all the businesses, and then she got caught and arrested, and then she's on TV crying about, this is not fair and service. Well, she got charged with 6 felonies, and she was encouraging looters, laughing at the cops, saying, you're not going to get these people. And of course they got her.
What did she do to break the law? She's just filming them.
Oh, I think they caught her taking stuff.
Oh, okay. She was looting too?
I'm pretty sure they caught her looting as well.
There's some audio of her after she was released.
Oh, excellent. Meatball.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that, carry for me. Ain't nothing, never been nothing. I never been through nothing like that ever in my life. I don't even know what happened. I need some sleep.
Yeah, it's really.
I'm scared. I'm traumatized.
Okay.
Never again in my life.
This is right up there with the Bo. What was his name? The basketball player? I'm going to go home, go to sleep, get up, get something to eat. It's right up there with that.
Unbelievable. God. And again, she's obviously stupid, uneducated.
She filmed herself looting.
It's. Oh, my God. Look what I got. And by the way, if you want to see some video, if you haven't seen this, the video in a middle school in Oregon, it's horrible. A classmate who's a boy pretending to be a girl attacks an unsuspecting female student from behind. And all these other middle school kids are watching it on their phones, getting plenty of video. And I'm telling you, in fact, we're going to finish this story. We're going to do a break here in about a minute, unless we have time for the tranny thing. Maybe a couple of minutes. Is that you want to go through with the tranny soundbite next, or save that for later? We'll do it.
We'll save it.
We'll save it. So let me explain what's going on here. Again, if you look for the video, it's Oregon tranny attack. Maybe anything, Google anything like that, and you'll probably see it. What you're going to see is unbelievably violent. You see what looks like a girl. It's actually a guy in girl's clothes. He grabs an actual girl from behind and swings her and slams her into the floor and is pounding her. It looks like she was killed. It was a violent act. Happened in Oregon at a middle school. Everybody's just watching it happen. Swings her by her hair, slams her to the ground, and then lands a bunch of punches while everybody else records it. Several students seemingly ready with their camera phones when it began, so it sure looks like they were prepared for it. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know. I don't have any more of the story about it. The victim, this young girl, is sobbing, saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." It looked like he was going to kill her. Honestly, when he swung her around by her hair like a ball bearing on a rope. It looked like he was going to kill her. I don't know the story behind it. Maybe she said something about him, or called him. Still, there's nothing that she could have done that would give this justification.
He's obviously mentally ill because he's tranny, and now he's violent.
I'll tell you what, this is, and again, this would not happen if America had said, stop this nonsense. If families had said, wait a minute, this starts with going to school board saying, what are you teaching our kids? This has been going on for 3 years.
It's Oregon. This
wasn't going on in Trump country in Oregon.
Yeah. Their parents are doing it to them. It's Oregon.
Oh, my God. 4:30, Kim Pete and Flounder. You're going to hear a tranny who says, wait a minute, you ought to be taking care of yourself like this. Coming up next here. Hold on. Radio.
No.
There's some big, tall athlete, obviously a former Brave, came, but we can't really see his face, came in, and everybody's going up to shake his hand and say hi and hug him.
Wait a minute, Kimmer.
What?
When this happened before...
Yeah.
You go, well, there's 5 big black guys walking around out there.
It's a big, tall white guy up here.
Yeah, you didn't say that this time.
It's a great big white guy with a mustache and a hat on and everything. A big white guy. Obviously an athlete.
You don't know that.
Well, yes, I do. He's a great big
banker.
He looks like an athlete. A big, tall white guy with a backpack and a hat on backwards.
Quit pointing at him.
And they're all coming up and they're pointing at him and they're shaking his hand and hugging him. And obviously, I don't know who it is, but he's a famous athlete. He's got a little kid with him.
You're an anti-call guy.
He's got a kid. He's got like a daughter with him. I'm an
That's not his daughter.
White guy athlete guy. Now she's shaking more hands.
Not his niece either.
You want to be my latex salesman.
Well, anyway,
we don't care. Just keep going.
Well, he might be. If he's famous, he should come in and be on the radio. Here he is right now. Get to look at him. How's it going, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. And he's on the radio with another famous.
Do what you said you were going to do.
All right, thank you, Brian. There's Guns N' Roses. I'm sorry, Flounder. We can play music here. It was on this day, 1991. Guns N' Roses released 2 albums. I want to know who that guy is. Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2. Oh, that's creative. And they debuted at number 1 and number 2, which makes it bizarre. Anyway, so that's good. Guns N' Roses. All right, there you go. Quick birthday, Brigitte Bardot. 89 years old today. And it says here, the crazy animal-loving ex-sex kitten. And if you don't know who Brigitte Bardot is, she was, people my age, she was our first sexy, the first, the definition of sexy and the first real sex kitten. Back in the 50s, yeah.
First real one?
Yeah.
European.
To me.
Well, there was the Italian girls. Age. There was Sophia Loren and then Gina Lollobrigida that came along.
Oh, those were 20 years after Brigitte. Brigitte Bardot was 89.
Yeah, but I think the French kiss, she was in early 60s. Bridget.
Oh, well.
Whereas Sophia was the 50s.
Well, anyway, whatever. Well, Sophia Loren, Brigitte Bardot was more of a sex kitten than Sophia Loren.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was...
Sophia was the sex cat.
The cat kitten is. And a quick thing on history, and then we're going to do some actual stuff here today. And we got to find out who that guy is and see if he wants to come on the radio. If he's famous, maybe he wants to say hi to his fans or something. Well, I'm just saying.
They've already gone.
All right. Well, I know he went in the back. History. 1963. The Sabin oral polio vaccine announcement came out that starting tomorrow in 1963, it will be a nationwide program taken with a lump of sugar, the oral polio vaccine, refrigerated beforehand, and it takes 6 doses to work. That was 1963. But 1928, on this very day, while working in his lab at St. Mary's Hospital, London, St. Mary's Hospital, London, here you idiots, Alexander Fleming discovers penicillin by accident when he noticed many of his culture dishes were contaminated with a fungus, and the fungus had a positive antibacterial effect on multiple organisms, I said organisms, providing the basic block for the start of modern antibiotics. Many believe the discovery of penicillin in this day, 1928, is one of the most important discoveries of the last century. Hell, one of the most important discoveries of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, really?
May have saved my life.
I guarantee you it saved, I'll bet you people, baby boomers.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number. I mean, it was a lifesaver.
I took it every day for 9 years. I had to take one a day.
You had a heart thing going on, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, talk about a wonder drug.
You think I'd be immune, but I'm not immune from it. It's amazing. I should be immune.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like aspirin. I don't think you get immune from aspirin either.
Well, penicillin, you get immune from. So I'd have to keep switching it around.
Oh,
so I was lucky.
Other people can't.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know if you ever tasted it. It's a very distinct taste.
Yeah.
And they sent me little white pills. And when I was about 10 years old, they sent me a pink one. And I thought they've got a cherry flavor, and I bit into it.
No, you don't want to.
No.
It's like it's like chewable vitamins.
One a days.
Yeah. Well, all vitamins are chewable. It's just they taste like crap.
I bit into one of those little one a days ones.
They're all chewable.
Oh my God! I I still taste the iron.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
It was just iron explode.
No, you don't. My father used to just crunch them.
Oh.
Maybe he'd take a handful and just put them out and crunch them. I say, my God, he would do it. I mean, he was just so down to earth.
It's like gnawing on an iron bar.
Nothing bothered him. He would, and that man, I'm telling you, he'd bang his finger with a thumb and say, oh, darn, and just go back to, I mean, it was just, I never.
Maybe he couldn't feel pain.
No, he was, believe me. I caused him a lot of pain. He had to come down and bail me out of court one time when I was 16 and lost my, anyway. 4:39. We mentioned this horrible training video. Honestly, it's disgusting. It looks like he's going to kill that girl, middle school in Oregon. And the other day, there was a social media posting that came on, and we saved it and kept it. And it seemed to me that this was something because everybody's talking about trannies now and, gender bathrooms and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, there's one person here, a lesbian, who is giving us a lesson in lesbianism and wokeness and social media using the Kimmer philosophy that not everything is a thing. Flounder, if you would.
I was just misgendered in my local FedEx. Yep. The woman behind the counter asked her coworker, "Did you help that guy yet?" And after further observation, she goes, "Or lady." See, immediately, my thoughts were, cancel this woman. Ruin her entire life. Because she called me what I look like.
What I look like.
Just kidding. That's what y'all would do.
No.
I, on the other hand, am aware that I look like a guy. Look at me. Just a dyke. But this is your message. If you look like a guy, they're going to call you a guy. If you look like a chick, they're going to call you a chick, regardless of what you identify as. Okay? And stop taking it so personally. In fact, you'd be a little happier if you could laugh sometimes. Laugh at it. Ha ha. It's funny. It's funny. Okay? It's funny.
Damn you. It's funny.
Anyway, I mean, not everything is a thing. And again, see, the problem is not that these issues haven't been alive before in our lifetimes, but when everything went woke and left and socialist and Marxist 3 years ago as a reaction to the hatred for Donald Trump, it's all because they hate Donald Trump.
But they also found out they could get their 15 minutes of fame and maybe some kind of reparation from doing it.
Well, again, between the woke leftedness and the cell phone, the iPhone, yesterday's cigarettes, is responsible for the snowballing effect and this momentum that can't be stopped.
Wait a minute. I've heard that somewhere else.
Yes,
you stole that cigarette line.
Yeah, right. Oh, my. Is he ever going to give me credit for that? Probably no, he will not. That's all right. All right, 441. I don't know whether you heard about the update on that crash that happened over Labor Day, where two young teenage drivers were racing speeds of more than 100 miles an hour and plunging onto I-85. It left 5 teenagers dead. Emmanuel Rene Estefani, 20, from Lawrenceville, has surrendered now. He's been charged with 5 counts of vehicular homicide and a whole bunch of other things. 4 o'clock in the morning, Labor Day weekend, 5 teens, including the driver of a Toyota Tacoma double cab. 3 others were hurt. 3 of the students killed were students at Lakeside High School in DeKalb County. 4 o'clock in the morning, Hung Nguyen, the Vietnamese name, 18 years old, of Lawrenceville, driving the truck on Georgia 316, trying to merge onto I-85. The other kid, S. Fonte, who's been arrested, was driving his Infiniti and racing the truck, speeding more than 100 miles an hour on the exit ramp from Pleasant Hill Road to 316. A vehicle was going slower than they were, obviously, so the truck passed the vehicle on the left. The Infiniti, with a guy who's been arrested, passed it on the right in the emergency lane, apparently. And then the box truck was stopped in the emergency lane at the time. So the bad guy who got arrested, allegedly a bad guy, was swerving to the left. The Infiniti went across the lane, hit the truck. The truck traction spun and rolled. The truck continued traveling across the lanes, hit the retaining wall, and the speed caused it to carry over the wall and fall nearly 40 feet down the ramp below. 2 passengers in the truck were ejected. Another driver, a 33-year-old DeKalb man, was one of the victims on the interstate. The crash killed Katie Gayton, 17, Ashley Gayton, 16, Coral Lorenzo, 17, all from Atlanta, and Abner Santana, 19, of Swanee. All 5 died at the scene. An 18-year-old boy in the truck survived. 100 miles an hour, 4 o'clock in the morning, teenagers. And they say they don't have evidence that there was any alcohol involved.
Just racing.
Just being ridiculous at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I saw it coming down here at noon on 75. A Mustang was chasing those little Nissan souped-up thing, and they're chasing each other in and out of traffic. And obviously a road rage thing or something. It's like they act like it's Fast and Furious out there. And there's never you don't notice that whenever they're doing this, there's never a policeman.
Yeah.
And there used to be a stretch between 78 North to North Lake. There used to be a stretch there where it was every guy from the ghetto seemed to be there with a souped-up car racing every day.
Yeah.
You never saw a cop. And you knew damn well everybody knew that's where they went to race.
Yeah. And we know there are certain areas in this metropolitan area where you're afraid to speed because you know they got speed traps are looking for you, like going up
Avondale.
Well, there's a lot of them, and we all know them, so we don't speed through there.
What's that place over past Memorial Drive? Pine Lake.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, going up where all the car dealerships are, going north of on 285, and what the hell? What that area there? I can't remember. Anyway, there's a bunch.
Avondale used to be famous for that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend got pulled over once. We had to go to court there in Avondale, and we sat there. The first 6 people before her case came up were all traffic cited, and everyone, the policeman goes, "Well, Your Honor, I was sitting there behind the Citgo station."
There you go. That's where they got you, all right. Guilty. Pay the man. You want to go to school? Just pay the man. It's 4:45 with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
There it was, Your Honor.
There you go. Guilty. Excuse me. I like The Police. I like this song. What was the other one I liked? That another great song I liked.
Roxanne.
No, it was a different one. It was kind of more of a love song. Or like I'll Miss You One Day, Baby, or Don't Hurt Me, Break Me Up.
They have a lot of good songs.
Yeah. Anyway, this Police in 19... I know, I see, I can't read the thing there with the thing there. 1980. 43 years ago, the Police were number one in Britain with Don't Stand So Close to Me, their third number one. It was from the album Zenyatta Mandata.
Yep.
And their best-selling single of 1980. What was the hell that other song? That was really not kind of a love song. Well, I don't know.
Every breath you take.
That might have been it. Yeah,
it wasn't a love song. Stalker song.
Well, love stalking, same thing. Stalker till she caves in. Isn't that the theory? That worked for me. Not at the end, but it worked for me at the beginning. Well, sorry.
We're walking.
Taking small steps. 449. Oh, I don't know what's going on with me, and I'll never find out. I had a birthday. Oh, here we go. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Wait a minute. I think I may have lost it. No, I guess I'll do this one. Carrie Otis is 55. Carrie Otis was the woman with whom Mickey Rourke snarkukulated within Wild Orchid.
Yeah.
They were dating at the time, and a lot of people believe the sex in the movie was not fake. I don't think they've said for sure.
Well, they said the same thing from Wild Heart.
Got somebody divorced.
Angel Heart, because that was Lisa Bonet and him were going at it, and everyone said that was sex. And I tell you what, I saw it, and they're having sex.
I know, and that may not have been the case, but there's one famous actor-actress case where were doing it in the movie, and the wife found out and divorced him.
Yeah.
Somebody got caught cheating because they actually did it anyway. Sorry.
By the way, I saw a movie on Netflix last night, and it's not for everybody. If you like Wes Anderson movies, you like Wes Anderson movies? It was the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's either hit and miss with him.
That Budapest Hotel thing is a very clever movie. Everything about that movie is very clever.
It's either hit or miss with his movies. You love them or hate them.
Yeah.
And he put out one on Netflix last night with Benedict Cumberbatch and a few others, Ben Kingsley and Ralph Fiennes. And he took a Roald Dahl, the guy who gave us Willy Wonka and everything, took a short story of his called the Amazing Journey or something of Henry Sugar, or The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And he took this little short story and he did it in the West. And the whole time the actors are staring at you at the camera and telling you the story as the story's going on behind them. And the sets move behind them. A house becomes a jungle and stuff like that. And and it's the same, like 4 actors, and they keep doing different roles. And I couldn't keep my eyes. It's like an hour long. I could not stop watching it. It was the most amazing thing. It's not for everybody.
It's on Netflix or
Netflix. Huh. It's just a cute little story about a man who figures out a way to cheat in gambling. And it's just...
I'll be damned.
Weird.
Well, there you are. By the way, the mystery of the tall white guy is solved. Apparently, he was somebody's husband, ladies and gentlemen. Well, no, I guess his wife does business here, and he came in to pick her up, and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" I thought it was an athlete. He looked like a big white guy. He was an athlete.
You were like
for sure he was an basically. He was wearing a Braves hat. He's probably going to the game, but still, he looked like a jock, and he looked like an athlete.
You almost ran out and hugged him.
Well, I'm still the only guy in the whole place here who's hit a home run at Wrigley Field.
But you never mentioned it, so how does anyone know about it?
Exactly. Well, I'll try to bring it up one time in my autobiography when I die.
That's another thing, and I'm going to tell Hullinger this. Yeah. Both of you need to write a book.
I know. Well, I should write something. I've got look at all the stories. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You better write them down. You're going to forget them in
it's
a few
so hard.
months.
I'm keeping trying to make up more.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead.
I'm almost dead yet.
Yes,
working on it. I don't care one way or the other, frankly, but
don't care.
452. Anyway, by the way, they're mocking Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage with a new State Department portrait uncovered this week, revealing an image of Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage in a green dress standing in front of an American flag backdrop. Yes, she says, "I'm so deeply proud of all that we accomplished while I was Secretary of State." Yeah. Like the tragedy of Benghazi when the real U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens was murdered in the attack with 3 other Americans who tried to prevent and save him. And unlike what you tried, the official account of the House Judiciary Committee replied to Clinton's map of the city of Benghazi, saying you should be in jail. Two complete disasters. Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, and Secretary of State Blinken. That little dweeby pimp. These people really should be in jail. Hillary at the State Department. Holy smokes. Oh, your former congressman who used to represent you until you moved. Hank Johnson's at it again. He has been blasting on social media again today for insisting that reporters who say there's a crisis at the southern border aren't doing their job. The Fox News channel Hillary Vaughn asked Democrats for their comments on the migrant crisis, and she talked to Hank Johnson, the congressman from Stone Mountain area, and he says... Or she said, people are breaking the rules. They're paying a criminal organization, the cartels, to do it, to get in front of the line. Does that concern you? And Hank Johnson, the congressman, said, well, have you ever been to the border before to see what's happening? And she said, yeah, I've spent a lot of time there, Congressman, a lot of time. And he says, well, you didn't talk with the right people, apparently, because your information, your questions based on, your questions are kind of off base. Off base? Have you seen the video? I mean, you're not talking to the right people? This is idiocy. Reaction. Time for some buses to go to Hank Johnson's district in Atlanta, 4th Congressional District, and get him out of here. He's a guy who said, remember, he was afraid that the U.S. territory of Guam was going to capsize if they put too many Marines on it. The very same Hank Johnson, a gifted military leader, grilled a military leader about putting too many Marines on Guam. He said, you're worried too many Marines would cause the island to tip over. You'd think at least he might be concerned if there are too many people coming to America, maybe the whole damn country's going to fall over one side or the other. It's just unbelievable. Oh, he once compared Jewish Israeli soldiers to termites and said parents confronting school boards launched a coordinated attack on school boards in America. Was a coordinated attack by the Republic. My God.
He once got on the floor of the House and decried that we're running out of helium and clowns would not have helium to blow up balloons at parties.
What kind of parties would we have in America if the clowns could no longer blow up helium balloons, ladies and gentlemen? It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen of Hank Johnson. Oh, what an embarrassment. Elon Musk and AOC, Ocasio-Bengbengo Stupidio, going after it again. She was making some comments on immigration and busing him to New York City and so forth, and a long-standing history of bickering back and forth. But Elon Musk said, well, she's just not that smart. So AOC, Ocasio-Bengbengo Stupidio, said, well, I investigated Cohen and authored the largest FEMA funeral. Ow! What about 450? Oh, my God, we forgot.
Finish your story.
Pete's tweets. So she said, I authored the largest FEMA funeral assistance program. And Musk says, oh, you're obviously a genius. You mean to tell me that that's your biggest thing is getting people to be buried? Anyway, so now they're going back and forth as well. And other tweets in the news of business with Pete's tweets right there.
Clown World posted the latest crazy video from Britney Spears.
Oh, man, with the Dancing with the Knives?
Which is
very sexy, but she looks great, I got to say, and was very sexy.
Talking about she looks sick.
It's sick and sexy at the same time. It's
right.
Scary. It's scary.
That's right.
And it says pray for this girl, and I think she's
flipped her wig.
It's something bad's going to happen. She's going down a bad path.
She just won the big victory a couple of months ago. She just got cleared of all the daddy influence and everything in the court.
Not good.
And all of a sudden,
this is not going to end well. You can just see it. It's not going to end well.
I don't know what the knives thing is. That's scary to me.
Yeah. Andy Ngo tweets about an Australian celebrity zoologist, kind of like a brand new Steve Irwin type.
Steve Irwin.
We all miss Steve and all that.
We do miss Steve.
Famous for working with crocodiles like Steve.
Yep.
All right. Adam Britton, and he's a handsome young guy, TV star and all that.
Yeah.
Has pleaded guilty to not only having sex with animals, but having violent bestiality with them.
Oh.
He's also up on charges of disseminating child sex abuse content. Britton allegedly tortured, then killed dozens of animals after brutally raping them.
And who's this? What's this guy's name again?
Adam Britton.
And he is a zoologist. Is he a TV guy?
His TV guy now in Australia.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even in Australia, they don't go for that kind of thing. I'm fairly sure.
Well, not on Sundays.
Not in public. Not on TV.
Not on
TV. They probably could take them off TV.
He also wrote the children's book Lyle Lyle Crocodile. I want to do things to you so vile. So it's a big seller.
By the way, did you read about Steve Irwin's daughter?
The hottie? She's married now with a kid, I think.
It was Steve Irwin. I believe it was Steve Irwin's daughter. I read on social media. I was checking around. She just had surgery, and the doctor who she had some kind of a horrible neurological disease that left her in excruciating pain constantly. She just wanted to die all her whole life, and finally they found kept misdiagnosing it.
Yeah.
And the story, the doctor when he went in there said, "Oh my God, we got to get rid of this, and this." And he said, "I don't know how you've been able to stand the pain. I've never known anyone who could stand this kind of pain for all those years." And she said it was like she has a whole new life.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
During the opening ceremony for a new terminal at the Ottawa airport back in 1959, a USAF F-104 Starfighter jet did a supersonic flyover.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, early found.
The resulting sonic boom shattered almost all of the glass in the airport. It caused such immense structural damage to the terminal, it delayed the opening for another year. If a farmer wrote a romance novel, it would go something like this.
Yes.
Her body tensed and quivered as she felt wave after wave surge through it. I probably should have told her about the new electric fence.
It wasn't electric when I was there as a kid. 5 o'clock, you ever feed Flounder? Here we go. Hip! Huh! Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Huh! Road guards out. Gotta get the fucking thing. It's at 5:03. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer House of Gold with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. How you doing? Got a ball game tonight with the Cubbies. A big night last night. And Pete Davis is going to have a really fun Holy Crap at Sports. If you missed the early part of our show, the very beginning of our show today, we kind of played some stuff, had a little fun. It was very, very exciting. We're going to make fun of the Cubs announcers. You're going to hear some highlights, and it's going to be really, really fun. So make
the
sure
same place where you can go re-listen to the show every day. I also put that ran up.
Oh, you did?
It's up there as well. Yes.
And they do that by going to the
Podcast Park.
Podcast Park, or can they go to kimmershow.net or something?
Kimmershow.net has a link to it, yes.
Okay. All right, but Podcast Park, and then look in what?
Yeah, you can go. I mean, Kimmer Show, we're on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google.
And I'd like to apologize to the audience for that tirade I went on. I really meant to cuss a lot more, but we're on the radio now, so I can't do it.
You did try.
Because I have names for that.
Well, no. I mean, malefactor would be a good substitute.
That's a good one. It's this many syllables, yeah.
Yeah.
same syllables. Yeah, it's same amount of syllables.
Yeah. It's kind of a.
I mean, what a loser!
Those dirty little malefactors.
What a whiny loser! If this was the Cubs doing something, oh look, Ryan Sandberg barely got a 200-foot home run into the net at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Whoopee!
I know. That's awesome.
For all those losing teams that didn't win anything, to blew a 2-0 lead to the Padres in '84. Hey, '84.
Yeah.
Remember that? You had a 2-0 lead.
I do. I was there.
Leon Bull Durham let the ball go right between his legs. How did that work out for you?
Because somebody soaked his glove in Gatorade, he claimed. And that was, I talked to him after that game. I was there, I think.
The Atlanta Braves have as many World Series wins as the Chicago Cubs have in the last 108 years.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Plus.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just they're sour grapes. And frankly, we're having a good time because of it. So, and maybe we'll see what happens tonight. And again, if you haven't heard about the game,
I didn't tell you the first game. I watched the Cubs broadcast of this.
Yeah.
And and John Shamik said, "So, what do you think of the stadium here, the ballpark?" And Jim DeShays goes, "I guess it's all right."
Oh my God!
What a miserable, human piece of rhymes with kite.
Well, he's just an unhappy homer, and he's not a broadcaster.
John Shampi has a great sense of humor. I don't always agree with him, but he's got a great sense of humor, and he tries to get that out of DeShays, and it's like beating a scarecrow to get word out.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, they're just nasty. And again, we don't have to listen.
He has a personality of a snail after you pour salt on it.
Yeah. Ow. Ooh. Wow. Pete, come on, buddy.
And then spray it with Lysol and let it on fire.
I was going to hope for the blowtorch part of it. My God, man.
Put out of its misery.
5:07. Holy cow. I can't wait for Holy Crap at Sports. We should start now. You want to? We can do it right this minute. No. Well, we'll do the hearing is over on the impeachment inquiry. And let's see, where am I? I had a bunch of notes right. I've taken my own notes at there. First of all, that scummy little herpes face Jamie Raskin, the screaming liberal liar. He's just a vicious little hate-filled little snot-nosed, a nasty, rotten politician.
Are you talking about Jim DeShays again?
Oh my God! No, he's one of those weekly. He's like the guy would pull some girl's hair from and then run away and blame you for it in 5th grade. You know what I mean? One of those. It's just you just hate. You just want. One day you want to hit him. You just want to find him and hit the crap out of him. And he, as soon as the hearing started, he said, "Point of order. This is not an impeachment hearing. It's an impeachment inquiry. And by rules of the law in 1892, subsection 424, you have to have a full committee roll call vote in order to have a hearing that's not an factual impeachment hearing." So they had to stop and they had to do a roll call one at a time. Congressman so-and-so, aye or nay. I mean, this way. And then when that didn't work, they tried that. That didn't work. And then he said, well, we're here wasting our time when we need to try to not shut down the... I mean, it went on. It was just on one after another. Anyway, so finally got to it. A couple of the, do we have any sound that came by of that from the late part of the hearing? I don't. You'll get it later if you're watching the news later on and stuff. And again, at least Fox News, I'm sure, is going to be covering it later on. But it was fighting, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. We've covered some of it live, where Marjorie Taylor Greene and they're holding up signs and arguing with each other. Honestly, I wish I could have watched every minute of it. It was that interesting and exciting to me. And again, the bottom line is the Democrats are saying this is all nonsense. They're saying, in fact, that Jamie Herpes Lip Raskin came on again and he said, well, it's not mine, it's his. And he said, well, there's not one shred of evidence, not any one single piece of proof linking Joe Biden to anything.
I have that audio.
Oh, we do. Oh, here we go. Jamie.
The committee's received 12,000 pages of bank records. Here they are, right in front of us, printed double-sided. And not a single page shows a dime going to President Joe Biden. We've received 2,000 pages of SARS reports the chairman subpoenaed. We've held hearings and conducted interviews with everybody from Hunter Biden's business partners to a federal agent assigned to that investigation, and still we found no evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden.
Well, Representative Nancy Mace, that little hottie from South Carolina whose boyfriend wanted to grab her by the waist to him to go to the prayer breakfast. Anyway, she is calling out all these Democrats. It was one after another saying, there's nothing here. There's just nothing here. She was speaking at the first impeachment inquiry today. We went on from 10 till about 5, almost till just now, uncovering all kinds of evidence as part of the investigation into the Biden crime family and their business dealings. The Democrats downplay the whole thing, saying it's just an impeachment drive based on long debunked and discredited lies, as you just heard him say. Well, Nancy Mace said so. She said there's a 2017 deal with a Chinese company. The deal involved making millions off of granting access to Joe Biden, unquote. Hunter even arranged for Joe Biden to share office space with a Chinese Communist Party official aligned with the company. And then she claimed the counter the claims by Dems that the deal took place when Biden was no longer vice president, before he was even running. She said, my Democrat colleagues say none of this is relevant because Joe Biden wasn't vice president while his family did these shady deals. Turns out that's complete and total bourgeois. It's a lie. Hunter Biden referred to access to his father as the keys to his family's only asset. The words are coming back to haunt Hunter Biden and his family forever. And again, last night, it came out in another email released by the House Republicans that this woman, Leslie Wolf, who was the deputy to Weiss, who's the investigator who helped cover up the original deal for Hunter's benefit, she worked for Weiss, who's now the special counsel investigating this all over again. It was Leslie Wolf working for Weiss in the original case who said you cannot include Joe Biden's name on any search warrant. They hid him from being searched with the other search warrant. These are the same people who called Hunter Biden's attorney and said, just to let you know, we've got a search warrant for your storage locker. And the attorney said, what storage locker? And she said, the storage locker that Hunter's got all that stuff in that we're going to go raid here. And he said, okay, bye now. I mean, this is unbelievable. That's not evidence of a cover-up. That's not evidence of shady dealings. Well, anyway, I guess not. It's just astounding. And they're calling it a clown show. Yeah, well, we'll see if they get subpoenas for the bank records and find out exactly where the offshore accounts are linked to. We'll see if it's still a clown show. Coming up, we'll talk about the debate last night, whether you saw it or not, and what you think about it. Also, Holy Crap at Sports at 5:13 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. Go Braves! Here we are. Hold on now.
try and get through this Braves talk.
No, you all right? I just get the dump button ready
without offending the delicate sensitivities of the Chicago Cubs broadcast booth. They are precious snowflakes who get bent out of shape watching winning teams celebrate great moments, and we should just be cognizant of that. The Braves clinched home field advantage throughout the National League playoffs by coming from behind again to beat those Cubs. This time, was it 6-5? What was the score?
It's when I tuned out when they were losing, and the 2 nights in a row, both comebacks.
It's all you, baby.
And I said, I'm now I can't watch. I hope the hell that they're behind and we're going to bed tonight or something.
Well, here's how it ended. I'll do that one first here.
Winning run at second, the pitch. Swung on, rifle to right field, base hit. One hopper to Suzuki. Here comes Ronald. Here comes the throw. Braves win! Ozzie Albies swarmed by his teammates out between second and third.
That was Joe Simpson on 680 The Fan.
Braves win. He didn't say like with Skip Carey days.
He knows that's special.
That's why he didn't want to go. Braves win, Braves win, Braves win. But again, isn't that funny? It was back in the days together, that whole team back in the early 90s or whatever. And that was really cool. I think that was very classy of him, actually.
Once again, the Cubbies defense failed their starting pitcher. It was glorious to watch. Did you see the guy trying to throw? Was it Acuna or somebody stealing second base? And the catcher threw it into left field?
No.
He basically went...
Oh, boy.
Like that. It was hysterical. And then there was a double play ball in the 7th or something. The guy flipped it to Dansby, and he threw it over his head. It was just hysterical.
Oh, no.
Oh, in the late innings, they fold like cheap chairs.
I didn't see it, yeah.
What was also wonderful was listening to the Cubs broadcast, especially human pansy Jim DeShays, who nearly broke down, and I'll do the Braves version of this, when this happened.
How long before he runs? He's going now. Ozzie takes the pitch. The throw down. Not in time. And that's 70. Number 70 right there, folks. He's trying to dig that base out.
And he did. He dug the base out there.
Yeah, as he should.
Yes.
He just set a record that's never been done.
Never been done. Ricky Henderson did it when he broke Ty Cobb's. He lifted it up in the air. Or Lou Brock's, I think, is when he broke. I said Ty Cobb's. He broke Ty's earlier record. Then he broke Lou Brock's.
I think that's right.
And he held it up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The Cubs have had plenty of celebrations over the year where they stopped the game.
Yeah.
But the Braves did it. Yeah. See, you can't do that.
No, the Braves.
So DeShays, who is in the bottom third of color analysts in all of Major League Baseball and probably all of pro sports, has the personality of a dead minnow, said he didn't think Ronald's second base soiree was going over well in the Cubs dugout.
Oh,
he said, I don't think this is going over well.
In the Cubs dugout? Yeah,
newsflash, Jimmy boy. No one south of Waverly Avenue gives a flying Fuddruckers what the Cubs dugout thinks about anything. He then called it absurd. This is absurd. You can do what you want in your quaint old ballpark up there, up north. That's how you do it up there. And the Braves can do what they want in their sparkling modern park. Okay, buddy? Show me on this doll where a Ronald Acuna Jr. celebration hurt you, Jimmy. Meanwhile, afterwards, I'm still watching the Cubs broadcast on Marquee, and they interview their manager, former Brave David Ross.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, what do you think about that celebration? Well, Acuna did it. And Ross looks at him and goes, what are you talking about? He goes, when Acuna stole the base and he held it up, he deserved it. He did it. It's an amazing achievement. He deserved it.
It's so classless to take anything away from what an obvious celebration would be.
Yeah, and it was joyful for baseball.
Yes, it was.
That's the old fuddy-dudds. We didn't do that. Well, good. You sucked.
I can't imagine. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your point is perfect. I can't imagine our broadcast team, if it had been another teammate, the Cubs had done something where guys did that and picked up the bag. I can't imagine our broadcasters would make fun of the guy or complain about holding up the game for something achievement like that.
This is a team that celebrated a gentleman by the name of Sammy Sosa, and I use the term loosely, who was breaking records, sacred records, and he knew all the time he was cheating while he was doing it.
Yeah.
But that was okay.
Yeah.
Braves go for the sweep tonight. Marcus Stroman versus A.J. Smith-Shawver for us. So that's good. And before you get upset at Spencer Strider, you may have heard about this, and you heard it, and you got it bad for a second.
Well, I heard something. I said, whoa. I said, I don't know whether you want to talk about it. I said, this is kind of big. And Pete, you immediately said, no, hold on a second.
Yeah, so I looked it up. Spencer was just joking when he said fans should be kept out of sporting events because they're too loud.
Yeah, please. I said, Pete, and he said, no, whoa.
No. Spencer has a wicked sense of humor, according to some, and he's a big fan of comedian Larry David, and he was just trying to do something funny.
Yeah, just kidding around. So if you see something on social media, it popped up on my phone, and I said, oh, my God.
And you immediately fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I did. I said, oh, hey, Pete.
Clickbait.
Yes, I did.
You're Captain Clickbait.
I'm clickbait. I'm worthless and clickbait. I'm a total clickbait, worthless pile.
By the way, I have a question here.
Yes.
How many umpires does it take to miss a foul ball off a bat and not call it a passed ball, or didn't call it a passed ball, and allow a run to score, then toss Brian Snicker for daring to question your incompetence?
Well, it takes one last night. I know that.
Took four. Four
of them.
All of them missed it.
Oh,
how could you miss it? Even the Cubs guy, even the blind Jim Deshaies says, you're at the second base ump. How do you miss that?
And it's not. You can't call
Which is
for a
ridiculous.
video review.
Either have the video replay or don't have the video replay. I'm tired. Well, we can't look at that. Why? Because it's written in Exodus. Why?
Yeah. You would think that, in fact, it would seem to me that if Major League Baseball had any sense at all, they would have a special, exceptional rule that the captain of the what do they call the head umpire at any one game?
Crew chief.
The crew chief could make a special exemption for an unusual event that should be looked at that they have no other way of checking. How many times would that happen? Maybe once a month or a couple of weeks or something?
And they're crowing about how much time they've shaved. They've shaved off. They've shaved off time for the games.
Yeah.
So you got more time now to do stuff like that.
Right. Seems to, and it was important enough.
It caused a run.
Could have cost the game.
All right. The magic number to clinch home field throughout the World Series is 1. One Atlanta win or Baltimore loss. At least that's what somebody told me earlier. So we're going with that.
Assuming that we meet Baltimore in the World Series, I guess
it would help. It would be nice. Yeah. But we may have had the kiss of death.
Oh, God. Oh, that's right. Here we go.
AJC pundit Mark Bradley. Boy, here's a joyful man. Man of the people there.
No, I wouldn't quite.
He's the life of the party.
Oh, wonderful.
Back in 1996, Mark Bradley proclaimed in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that the World Series was over.
It's over.
With the Braves up 2-0 coming home.
Yeah, it's over now.
Well, you know how that ended.
Well, I don't want to know how that ended.
He has now proclaimed that this Braves team will not let you down.
Well, there you are. Good night, everybody.
Do we have the funeral dirge music we could... Oh. Good night, everybody.
Miss Veronica's changing out of her Braves jersey.
She's leaving, putting on a Cubs jersey. Sad news is former Pirates and Red Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield is battling brain cancer.
Oh, my God.
That is so
sick.
sick.
50?
I don't know. He's older than 50. He's got to be older than 50.
Maybe, but still.
Wait a minute. I got Siri right here.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
How old is Tim Wakefield? That's why you got this AI right here in front of us to answer questions like this. Answer the question, you dumb... She's just playing around with this. Says, I don't have the answer. Okay, you're worthless. I'm turning you in for Cortana or something. All right, what else we got? Curse of the Billy Goat, move aside. We now have the curse of Wally Gator. A Phillies fan refused entry to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia because he had his emotional support alligator with him.
His gator in a box,
No, in a box. It was on a leash.
Oh, he's on a... I thought it was on a leash.
Crate. No.
Oh, my God. Well, come on.
It was on a leash. What's the problem? He going to eat one at a time on the leash?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get that far away from him.
He's not going to roll around a lot.
Just the people next to you.
Joey Henney claims he needs his 5-foot-long gator with him. Wally now has over 100,000 followers on social media. That's more than we do.
That's true, yes.
But Phillies officials said, see you later, alligator.
Sure. After a while, crocodile.
The curse of the Billy Goat kept the Cubs from winning a World Series for 108 years. Ha ha. Let's hope the curse of Wally Gator is just as potent for the Phils.
Didn't they just dig up something and bury it in Wrigley Field to get rid of the curse of the Billy Goat curse?
I don't know.
I think about a year ago they did something
Really?
Yeah, I forgot what it was. I should look it up.
I don't know what he did.
Sorry about that. They did something unusual.
And how incompetent are the Mets?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have all day.
Well, we know,
but, they failed to cover their field with a tarp. Well, why should they do that? Oh, because Tropical Storm Ophelia is coming, dumping 14 inches of rain. So the field was wet. the other night, so they had to postpone game 1 of the series, an important series with the Marlins, who are trying to make the wild card.
Yeah.
So then the Marlins had to play a doubleheader against the Mets. I think they split it, and that screwed up their pitching staff in the final week because they're trying to make the push.
Yeah.
They're fighting the Cubs
for
the final position, along with the Diamondbacks and maybe the Padres or whatever. So you wonder, will MLB do something about this? I don't know. Steve Cohen, the Mets? No, nothing's going to happen. Clemson is making noises about leaving the ACC really soon.
To go do what? SEC?
Or Big Ten. They'd be stupid going to the Big Ten. That'd be a dumb move. They should go to the SEC.
Well, they've been basically an SEC competition. I mean, I've always thought of them as the SEC team, just being in this area.
Yeah, pretty good. And Raiders tight end Chandler Jones continues his decline. He went on video and ignited concern for his mental health. He went a rambling, tearful vid implying that Raiders coach Josh McDaniels staged Aaron Hernandez's prison suicide in 2017.
Oh, my God. I remember. Oh, Lordy.
And that the coach planned that and pulled it off in the prison.
And that's what he believes.
That's what he believes.
Update the Britney Spears story. Did you do that on the air, or was that just personal?
That was personal. We talked about we talked yesterday. We talked today about her dancing.
The video of Britney Spears dancing in a teeny bra top and a teeny pair of panties.
Kind of hot.
And she's beautiful. She looks in great shape, and she's spinning around dancing in like a choreography move, holding flashing big long sharp knives that she clacks as she's dancing in circles, and it's beautiful and sexy. But it was always like Peter Sellers in the movie where they went into the spa and then the girls dancing with the stuff and everything, and it looked like that. But now,
well,
who came to show up?
Knowing what crazy biatch magnets you and I are, we did both find that attractive.
Yes, I was turned on. I got to tell you,
the police were called. The police had to show up and do a check on her.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good fest. A couple of quick sport things up here, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
1955, the World Series was televised in color for the first time. The Yankees beat my Brooklyn Dodgers 6-5, Game 1.
But the Dodgers won their only World Series.
Won the World Series, that's right, yeah.
That year.
And one more sports
Brooklyn.
thing. 1976, they moved to L.A. 1976, Muhammad Ali beat Ken Norton at Yankee Stadium to retain his heavyweight boxing
Norton.
crown.
Now, I think, was that revenge? Because didn't Norton break Ali's jaw in a previous fight?
I believe so.
And we thought he was over.
I thought, by the way, when I saw Ken Norton get in the ring, I thought, oh, my God, he looks like a murderer. He and who was the Sonny Liston looked like he was a I think he did kill somebody, but Ken Norton to me looked like, oh mercy.
And his son was a great linebacker for years for the 49ers.
That's right. A star football star.
I think he was a linebacker.
Anyway, 5:29 here with the Kim Repeat and Flounder. Let's see. Oh, tonight on TV, I was looking for the things. If you have never seen the Marx Brothers, Night at the Opera.
Yeah, that's fun.
I guess it's on TCM. Is on tonight at the Opera. If you've never seen the Marx Brothers, tune them in for 10 minutes.
That's our quote today from Groucho.
But this wasn't it. Yeah,
I've had a perfectly good afternoon, but this wasn't it.
Yeah, I could never belong to a club that would have me as a member. Woody Allen got that from Groucho. Anyway, also on tonight is the new TV series, The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, yeah.
Where an old guy gets all the hot old chicks trying to hit on him. I'm going to look at that one.
Some of them look kind of portly.
I think at any port in the old storm at this stage. Anyway, 5:30 with the Kim Repeat, Flounder, and Miss Veronica here at 106.3. Look out.
there were girls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I just later I had so many opportunities. But anyway, so she invites me over to swim, and I get there, and it's only me. We're just going to swim around.
Oh, yeah.
And her mother was there, but her mother was inside and everything, and stayed inside while we were out in the pool.
Yeah.
And so while she was like chasing me around the pool, this was like Sadie Hawkins Day, the mother turned up this album inside so she couldn't hear what was going on out there in the pool.
Oh, mercy. Isn't she? You naughty thing, you.
And then so I love this album.
Yeah, and then later on, wasn't it her mother you scored with when you were 12? I think wasn't that the issue. Birthdays include Moon Unit Zappa.
Yeah.
Moon Unit is 56 today. She sprung from the same loins as Dweezil and Ahmet Zappa. She teamed up with her dad for what was to be her one and only blip on the pop culture radar with a very funny little song called Valley Girl in the 80s. Moon Unit Zappa. And it was clever, and it said a lot. A quick historical note. Let's see. Oh, here, in fact, let's ask Miss Veronica if she's ever heard of this. Is things that happened technologically in fairly recent history, but I wonder whether you even know. Have you ever seen or heard or used the handheld Game Boy?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, you have?
Mm-hmm.
It came out in 1990. I'm kind of surprised that you would, because she's like 14.
I haven't.
The handheld Game Boy video device premiered on this day in 1990. 23, that was a long time ago.
The last one I played,
33 years ago.
The Mattel game with the football with the little blip that went around.
Yeah,
I was good at that. I still have one of those.
In 1990, 1997, the Audio Engineer Society revealed the debut of the DVD format, 1997. And in 2009, the iTunes Music Store reached 2 billion app downloads. Wow. Anyway, 5:36 here with the Caribbean Flounder and Miss Veronica. And I forgot, what do you want to do? Oh, God. All right. Okay. I forgot something. There it is. Wow, it's going to say, gee, a note. Hold up a freaking sign. God. No, it's fine. No, it's good. It's good now. 5:36. We have artificial intelligence, Skynet, stuff's going on and making me nervous every day. There's something new.
Is it hot in here? It's usually cool in here. Today it's kind of hot.
I wouldn't say hot. I would say not cool. It's definitely not cool. Well, you're wearing a long sleeve jersey, you goofball.
It's 80 degrees.
Well, you're wearing a long sleeve shirt. By the way, I got a long sleeve shirt just for you benefit, and I forgot to wear it today to cover up my disgustingness.
Skynet. AI will change everything in your life, and now your death too.
Now, wait a minute.
From being buried above ground in a mushroom suit to downloading loved ones into a computer, the funeral is about to change forever. Mm-hmm. In the near future, the memorials will be living creatures such as trees or even bioluminescent mushrooms spliced with fragments of your dead DNA.
Oh, boy.
Envision a genetically modified tree that grows and changes in response to visitors. Like if your mom shows up, it's blue. If your girlfriend shows up, it's pink. Whatever. Yeah, it just changes.
And why would it? What's the? I don't.
And it's your DNA that's changing the colors of it.
So you're reacting to them kind of as you're dead?
Or they're walking up, they're getting their pheromones, and so your DNA is reenacting.
How the hell are they going to figure that?
AI is going to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out.
Geez, I don't like any of this. I'm sorry.
After death, people might live on in the form of virtual digital twins, which can offer surviving relatives advice based on their real lives. They can walk up and ask a question, and you can give them advice.
Oh, my God.
You saw Superman. How many times does Superman in the movies talk to his dead father?
Kal-El.
Yes. And Jor-El, or whatever his name was.
Jor-El.
Yeah. It was either Marlon Brando or Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe was the last one.
Services such as Hereafter AI already attempt to do this, but in the future, advanced AI could make people live on in the form of a virtual replica. People will be able to interact with these twins in real time and benefit from their knowledge and ideas. Loved ones could carry on an interacting relationship and discussion with their relatives who are already gone. I'm telling you, they did this on Amazon, the show called Upload, which is a very funny show. They talk about in a few years uploading who you are into a computer.
The problem is, as I sit here with you right this second, I have to say I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at the changes we had so far just with what we just found out. GBT stuff all of a sudden makes writers irrelevant.
Well, no, it doesn't make writers irrelevant. Make copywriters.
Well, damn near.
Copywriters irrelevant.
I mean,
how dare you?
Well, people rewriting things makes them irrelevant. Instead, if you want somebody to rewrite into something or other, a transcript or whatever, you don't need a guy anymore. You say, have your chat guy do it. Have your machine do it.
You want a slogan to do it.
I mean, my God.
They've got one, if you give a face to one of them and you want a forever photo, what it does, it starts with your face and it starts to pull back, like a camera shot, and it pulls back, and you can say, I want to be my face in a Japanese samurai movie. And so all these scenes of Japanese samurai and beautiful Japanese scenery surround your face, and as it pulls out, it goes into infinity with your face way off in the distance.
I don't.
And it becomes this great thing. Okay, you don't like that? I got something else for you then.
Please
I'm
do.
like the funeral director here. Can I sell you a human composting?
How about this nice cherry wood casket?
How about this
How about the new do you think the new see-through casket would work? Well, remains to be seen, I guess. See, the see-through casket would... I'm sorry. All right.
Wait a minute. I'm not through.
Miss Veronica just left. No, come back, sweetie. I swear.
Human composting. You're turned into rich soil, which is my new nom de
I can do
guerre.
that. I could go for that.
Paging Mr. Soil, Mr. Rich Soil.
I can do that.
And even a mushroom.
Dr. Herman. Paging Dr. Herman.
All right, Dr. Herman.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
And one big line at the end.
Everyone always has a big butt. And even a mushroom suit, which will help speed up your decomposition.
Oh, my. Now, wait a minute.
They'll put you in a suit made of mushrooms,
oh, God.
and they'll eat you.
They'll keep it in the dark, all right. Oh, my God. Although, I could think of where I've got a box in my garage of Jack the Good Boy's cremation remains, and it probably weighs 250 pounds. I can't even move it.
I have my dogs, and I told them to bury them with me.
I got my dogs too.
I thought about putting their ashes in the creek and let them just float down the river, but it wasn't their creek. They wouldn't know.
Well, anyway, but I don't know what to do. I've done some stuff with those ashes. And my daughter Jennifer gave me a horseshoe with his ashes in his hair and stuff like that.
You're going to get weird on me here.
Yeah, sorry. Fine. All right, 541. What were you just doing?
We were doing fantastic radio is what we were doing.
We were.
Award-winning.
In case you missed the debate, again, the debate last night, I only saw like first 25 minutes. I was not impressed when I did tune in a couple times later on for a few minutes. They kind of lost control. I wasn't impressed with the way everything was handled. For one thing, it sounded to me... Oh, in fact, we're going to play a soundbite here in a second. We'll start off with the complete sound of crickets after the former vice president tried to be clever. But coming up, it seemed to me like they... I forgot, I remember who started it, but it was almost like between Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, both of whom are from South Carolina. They're compatriots, yeah, they're buddies. And it was, someone said it was almost like saying, "Hey, Nikki, did you hear what he said about you? You going to take that from this guy?" I mean, it was a specific question about the two of them and to get them to fight each other. Instead of, I mean, it was obvious. Anyway, first, former Vice President Pence came on to talk about, he's tried to make a funny. Let's just take it from here, Flounder, if you would, with Vice President. Up to days, we have.
Well, thank you for the question. I want to thank Univision and Fox Business for assembling such a wonderful forum. Look, I do disagree with something Tim Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line. I mean, look, I'm from the second leading manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean, and it was so staged and so obvious.
Maybe I could use that as one of my comedy bits.
You stand up?
It was pathetic. I mean, we're laughing at him. I mean,
and to show how disingenuous this all is, that afterwards Tim Scott and Nikki basically made up. Tim came up to her and said, "Hey, Nikki, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Nikki."
Yeah. As opposed to Mickey. See, he actually said that, ladies and gentlemen. We have the audio right here. Oh, my God.
I'm going to bell myself.
I swear to God above. And as an ordained minister, I can do this in the studio without worrying about a lightning strike. I swear to God. God above. For the first 9 seconds of your comments, I believed you.
What?
Did he went up to her after the debate and said, Nikki, you're so fine, I'm on my mind, hey, Nikki. I swear to God, because remember, after the last time when the two of them tried to make up in the 2020 election, and it was anyway, and I swear to God, you had me going there for 8 seconds. Yeah, I know. I'm definitely a rambling man. All right, well, speaking of the debate, they were rambling all over the place. Again, speaking of fakers, Chris Christie, if you would, Flounder, on his attempt last night to be funny.
And I want to look in that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
All right. Boy, wow. And I don't think I've ever been less impressed with Chris Christie. I mean, there was a time when I listened to what he said because he sounded like a, kind of a troublemaker, and the guy had something, he was sick and tired of putting up with the crap in America 6 years ago, whatever it was. I mean, I didn't know much about him other than his, being a politician and stuff. But I was paying attention to him, but I've lost all my respect for the guy, and you see him as president?
No.
Do you see him on the ticket at all?
No.
If you had to, in fact, we'll play one more soundbite here, Flounder. Actually, we have time for this? You okay?
Plenty of time.
Here, and again, this is where I said it sounded like they were deliberately trying to start a fight. The people on the panel trying to start a fight. Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, and here's how that went.
Talk about someone who has never seen a federal dollar she doesn't like. 10 cents on the gallon in South Carolina. As the UN ambassador, you literally put $50,000 on curtains in a $15 million subsidized location. Next.
You got bad information. First of all, I fought the gas tax in South Carolina multiple times against the establishment.
Just go to YouTube.
Against the establishment.
Just go to
and
YouTube
you want to know what that 10 cent was? When they wouldn't pass the gas tax, the establishment and the companies wanted me to do it so much that I said the only way I will pass it if you will give us
all you have to do is go watch Nikki Haley on YouTube.
Shut up, woman. And then there was one specific question. Nikki, he said this about you. Was that true? And she said, no, wait a minute. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, deliberately. And I didn't learn. Did you learn anything?
I learned nothing.
I learned nothing. Anyway, 546, Kim Repeat, Flounder, and Miss Veronica here at 106.3. Don't go away yet. Look out. 5:50, 10 before 6. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder and Miss Veronica. Bad Company. 1974, Bad Company went to number 1 in the album chart in America with their self-titled debut album. Paul Rodgers and Simon Kirke had come out of Free. That the group called Free?
Yeah.
While Mick Ralphs had played guitar with Mott the Hoople. Oh, I remember Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople,
oh my God,
Ian
Mott
Stewart.
the Hoople. Yeah. And Boz Burrell was the bass player for King Crimson. God, that goes way back.
Yeah, they're still around. King Crimson's still around.
Before they formed in 1973, the Bad Company. They produced 6 albums together before they disbanded in 1983. They lasted 9 years, so good for them. Let's see what else we got here with the thing there. A birthday or two. Hillary Duff is 38 today. She played Kelsey on TV Land's Younger, never saw it, and a brief music career, but she got her start as Lizzie McGuire, and she's a very attractive woman. I must say, a very handsome woman. Let's see. In history, a couple of sad things. 27 years ago, 1996, Tiny Tim collapsed on stage from a heart attack at one of his rockin' ukulele concerts in Massachusetts. Miss Vicky. They got married on the Johnny Carson show, Miss Vicky. Tiny Tim had ignored a doctor's warning to stop performing and died on stage from a second heart attack he had 2 months later.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If you were the Golden Bachelor, what would be your age parameters for the ladies?
Oh, 26, 42, somewhere in that area. No,
I would be 36, 24, 36.
Well, you know, I'm a baby boomer, so I mean, seriously, if
they asked you, what are you looking at? What age are we talking here?
To seriously date a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, the whole thing is preposterous to begin with, but
to me
if
too,
it were going to happen. Well, I hate. I mean, there's no way to have a good. I don't want to date a woman my age. I'm sorry. There's no way that I would date a woman who's almost freaking 80. I mean, okay, so don't
give
call
me an age.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would date a woman in her 50s, I'm sure. And I don't know. It depends on her. If she were hot and sweet, if she were, nice, if she were freaking nice and didn't want to just lie to you and then take everything and lie to you again.
What's the high end?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
78?
No, yeah, 78, yeah. What's the beginning end?
50, you said.
Yeah, I don't know.
50 to 70.
Well, no, if she's 35 and is interested in me, I'll take her. I mean, I'm just saying, let's not be. I'm going to say.
You need to hit that pipe a few more times.
Yeah, what, you got something on the truck? What are you holding?
Please.
I don't know. I can't. I'll never date again. I'm dead. It's all gone. It's dead in there. There's nothing there. I got nothing to offer a woman. But if, it's some woman in her 50s or I could say.
I'm dead.
Well, now,
You're
wait a minute. I'll tell you. Do I have time for a story? Now you're going to make me tell a story. Now I was going to tell this on the air.
It's not going to be.
No, there was this happened about maybe 4 years ago. We were out of
Florida?
work. No, here. We were here out of work. And I was doing comedy shows, hosting comedy shows. And at one of these particular comedy shows, there was a guy who said, by the way, there's a lady here and wants to meet you. And so let's have a drink after the show. And so she sat right up front.
Yeah.
And she was cute as hell and had her little sandals on, doing the little flip on the end of her toe kind of deal with a leg thing. God. Anyway, and so at the end of the thing, he came to get me and her, and we went to the bar area of the club where we were, and had some drinks, and we were goofing around, having some fun. And she was sweet and cute and having a good time. She was probably 35, maybe 38, maybe. And this was 3 years ago, so I'm still me, This is as good as I get. And anyway, so we were going. She wanted to go dancing. This is now like 11:15, 11:30 at night in the bar, and she says, "Oh, I know. Let's go downtown to Buckhead and go dancing." And my first thought was, "Oh my God!"
Where do people your age go dancing in Buckhead?
My age, nothing. The clubs in not Buckhead. What's the other place where Flounder used to live?
Johnny's Hideaway.
Yeah, no. I mean a real place.
Yeah.
She was in her 30s. Now she wasn't going for me. She was going for her. Where they go dancing in
I used to live in West Midtown.
Yeah, dancing clubs in that area. And my first thought was, "Oh my God, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that. Plus, I'll never dance again for a lot of different reasons." Okay, so also now I'm freaking out. So I said, "Oh no, I said I got a whole thing with a thing. I got to get to the so eventually I paid the bill and everything. I took off and I start walking outside. Well, we get outside.
Here we go.
And
chicka boom.
Well, no, I honestly, I haven't mentioned any names, and I would never do that to the woman. We get outside, and she puts her arms around my neck and plants a big one right on my mouth and didn't stop for a very long time.
Veronica says a good place to go is the 57th Fighter Club.
Yes,
on the weekends.
That's right.
There's another one at DeKalb Airport, Peachtree DeKalb.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
That's how
I was there.
Anyway, and then the bad thing. In fact, here's what an idiot I am. I mean, she was all. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like, oh my God, and so she gave me her number, whatever, and I texted her. Mm-hmm. But I didn't call her to ask her out. But I texted her, and I never followed up on her advances.
Well, if you texted her, did she text you back?
No, I think I texted her, what a wonderful time or something, just kind of as a thing. But she did not text me back.
Oh, she sobered up then, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe she had the implant operation the next morning.
The frontal lobe was taken out?
Maybe she said, "Oh, my God, it was him?" I thought it was the other guy. No, and so I never followed up because there was no way it was going to go. What the hell am I going to do with a 35-year-old woman?
I could think of you.
No, I mean, I'm seriously.
A lot of things.
No, I mean, seriously.
You can't.
Plus, she was, anyway, so it was just stupid. I every time I even think about this, I'm still so, ready to. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to talk about it, so it's fine. Anyway, but that was a hell of an experience, I got to say. All right, now what? I've blown the whole segment.
Yes. Yes, you have. Well, I started it. I asked you the stupid question.
Well, do you want to play the Donald Trump soundbite? That might,
sure.
It'd be interesting. Again, Donald Trump went to the union people, talked to them, and he was also asked about President Slimebag, who's never worked a day in his life. And here's the former president for you.
The only time Joe Biden has ever gotten his hands dirty is when he's taking cash from foreign countries, which is quite often, actually. It's quite often. Based on what we're seeing, it's much more often than anyone would have thought. But can you imagine an unannounced raid on his many homes? He would have made Senator Menendez look like a baby, just like a baby. Can you imagine? They gave him 3 weeks' notice. They said, we're going to raid your home over documents. They gave him 3 weeks. Would 3 weeks be enough? So I can imagine. I'd like to see what he cleaned out of there. Joe Biden only cares about enriching his own family. I care about enriching your family. That's why I did
this.
Good line. Hey.
I think that's a better one.
China. Oh, mercy. China. Oh, mercy.
If you go to YouTube, Kimmer, there's like a 7-minute just collage of all of him saying China in every different way.
Covfefe? Remember Covfefe? Did we ever figure out what the hell that was all about?
The media took hold for it for like a week,
but
and
I can't remember what the outcome was. Did we ever figure out what he was talking about?
No.
Oh man, I love it. I tell you, honest to God, I almost hope now, because I'm so ticked off at what the Democrats are doing. And again, I wish if you have a chance to go back on C-SPAN or something to watch that hearing today, do it. It was unbelievable. You would learn so much about what is going on right now. They're just still denying all the facts that are in. They're still saying, you got nothing.
You know how Fox Sports on the Sunday after the football game, they have the OT and the boys stand around and talk?
Yeah.
We're doing that today with Shannon Burke at 6 o'clock on
That's right.
Shannon show.
Oh, my God. Coming up.
Florida Man Radio.
In 2 minutes. And you can Google that. How do you look it up? Florida Man Radio.
Smoke signals, basically.
If you don't have a smoker, you can
just go to FloridaManRadio.com, and there's a link there where you can listen to it live.
And he's on right now till
we're going to join him in a couple
oh, my God.
the next 2 minutes.
Outstanding.
They have a sport called pillow fight. Look at this on Fox.
I see it, yeah.
There's grown men hitting each other with pillows.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Well, anyway, Veronica, don't feel sad for me. My last girlfriend sent me a Get Better Soon card. I wasn't sick. She just told me I better get better. That's why she's not my girlfriend anymore. He said, I got nothing. 6 o'clock. Hoorah, I got to go. You're killing me. Look out.
Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.